Hey, so today we're talking about nearly 8 million people sliding into poverty. That $1,200 stimulus check just got a little bit smaller, and the next upcoming opportunities in the stock market. Are you ready? Welcome to the Saymichael podcast. What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Saymichael podcast, one man's attempt at business, family, and comedy. I'm your host, Michael Aigbedion. And before we continue, you already know, let's give a shout out to our super producer, Saymichael. What's good?
What's good? What's good? Coming live to you with another Wednesday edition of the Saymichael podcast.
How you feeling though, bro?
I feel good, man.
He asked me before this, he said, are you in the Christmas spirit? And I was like, Are you in the Christmas spirit, bro?
It's like I'm dibbling and dabbling back and forth into it. I mean, I'm getting older, but I mean, I'm still young, so I mean, I still have my Christmas R&B playlist here and there. You know,
you got a Christmas R&B playlist?
Yeah, somebody actually sent me that playlist, so I've been listening to that ever since. So.
Hey, send me that so I could lock in.
Gotcha, man. I got you.
I'm not really an R&B fan, but hey, I'll get into it.
Gotcha. I got you, bro.
Man, I'm dealing with this situation right now, and I always say this. I always say that I'm not really big into like giving people second chances. I know it sounds bad, but I feel like when people show you who they are, you should believe them. And in the past, I hired this gentleman who kind of put me in a few fires when he was working with me. He worked with me for about a year and a half, and you know, he was gone. You know, he had to do a stint somewhere for about a year, and then now he's out, and he was like reaching out to see, you know, if I have a job for him. So I didn't have one, but he kept asking. I was like, I don't know how to tell him, but let me just, you know, keep saying not right now. So basically, one of my actual employees who, you know, was feeling sick this one morning, he just, you know, contacted me that morning, last minute, full schedule, and said, hey, Michael, I'm feeling really sick. I don't know if I'll be able to like do anything today. So because we're already too full, I feel like, okay, I don't want to reschedule all 8 of his appointments. So let me just call this other gentleman, have him hop back in his position, and we'll kind of do that so we don't have to reschedule and stack people up with other people. That was my idea. So then I said, hey, bro, there is an opportunity. Are you available today? This is the gentleman who just got out from his 1-year stint. And then he came and he said, yeah, I'm ready. I gave him all the supplies. We set him up, went to his first appointment, took care of it, right? He's on to his second one. Before he gets to his second one, I get a call from the first customer, and the customer said, what's this on my touchscreen? Like on my touchscreen, he has a BMW M5, mind you, very expensive, $120,000 vehicle. He said, there's something on the touchscreen. And when I inspected the car after it was done, because the guys knew and he went into it, I saw these dots on the touchscreen. I didn't know what it was. So I thought it was there before we even got there. So basically, you know, he says, there's spots on my touchscreen. I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, let me call the detailer and see what's going on. I told the detailer what was going on. And then he told me, oh, those spots were there before I even started. Even when I saw the spots, I called the customer. I said, I told the customer, hey, who worked on your vehicle before? And he said the name. And he says, oh, okay, because I see these spots. I'll call the customer back, tell him, hey, the detailer said he saw it before he got there, and that he even asked you about who did your car beforehand because he saw it on the touchscreen. He said, that's an effing lie. That's an effing lie. And he was just like pissed off. This is a bold-faced lie. He didn't know about this. When he was on the way texting me, he said, I'm on the way. And then when I text him like, who is this? This is my previous detailer. And he said, no, this is me, et cetera, whatever his name is. And then he got like, oh, okay, so I guess it's somebody new coming to do my detail. So basically, he said the only reason he knew who did it before is for the fact that he texted him on the way there saying that he's on the way. So basically, I go there and inspect, and yeah, there were spots. And as I'm finishing up, like taking care, looking at the spots that we gonna have to cover under our insurance, you know, he's at the details at another location doing a G-Wagon. And the same thing happens. The customer calls me with the G-Wagon and says, Michael, can you get over here? I said, what's going on? He says, look, what your guy did to my touchscreen. I said, oh my God. Oh my God. So then he sends me a picture of it, and then it shows like, basically look like a chemical type of reaction. The same thing that happened with the BMW happened with the G-Wagon. And, and because these customers were having like issues or, having a bad day because of this, the second customer was there with the detailer and he was starting to get upset as if he maybe wanted to like fight the customer. He said, "Hey, Mike, I don't really like how this customer's talking to me." I was like, "Hey, you could just leave." He's like, "Yeah, but I don't feel like leaving. I want to see what's good because, the way he's talking to me, I don't really appreciate." I'm like, "Well, I'm going to pay you. You're going to do the job. Don't worry about it. Just pack your stuff up peacefully and just leave." He's like, "Oh, yeah, but, I just don't like how he's kind of putting it on me as if I did something purposely. And, you know how I am, Mike. I don't really like how people talking to me like this." I'm like, "Look, just leave and I'll handle it. And we'll talk about this later." I get there. Spots all over it. And then it gets worse because the next day, I find out that for the BMW, that you're looking at $4,500 to repair that.
Sheesh.
Yeah. And to imagine what you think it might be for the G-Wagon. The G-Wagon might be $7K or whatever, just to replace the screen that was potentially damaged. And I was doing that. So therefore, look, these customers even told me, they said, "Michael, in my stomach," I said, I had a bad feeling about it. I had a bad feeling. I should have just said, "Let's reschedule." Both of them said they would have preferred to reschedule and go with the person they had as their detailer than to have had someone new like this gentleman who seemed and shown himself to not be very professional. Even the first guy was like, he came over here like, "Hey, I could paint your walls. I could do your siding. I could do all this." And I'm like, "Hey man, I'm just here for a car wash." And, he said, he didn't believe he was professional,
Yeah.
He just didn't believe he was professional. And then the second guy, he says, "Look at the job that he did. Like he didn't finish this." I'm like, I know. I was trying to help, but my attempt of me trying to help just made everything worse. It's probably going to cost me anywhere between like, I would say on the low end, maybe like 10,000.
Oh my God.
Yeah. On the high end, you're probably looking at about 13K. And then I have to use it on my insurance, which I just got through having a conversation with my wife on a previous podcast about how when I use and claim anything for my insurance, they drop me. So more like I'm gonna have to go get a whole new insurance, due to this situation. And then, just because I didn't want to cause no problems, the guy who did help out, I went ahead and broke him off double what I felt like he should have been paid that day. But I gave him double just because he's broke. He's in his, it's Christmas season, and he more likely is not going to come back and work with us. So I kind of gave him some like a parting gift, just because that's the last. But then when he brought back all the supplies, I was like, "Hey, bro, where my towels at?" He's like, oh man, I thought you were gonna let me keep the towels." I'm like, "Man, this guy keep burning me." He said, "Oh, well, if you really need your towels back, I'll go ahead and buy you some towels." I'm like, "Bro, you over here, complaining about being able to buy your kids gifts, and now you're gonna tell me that you're gonna buy me some towels, And he's like, "Man, don't worry about it. I'm like, man, towels are nothing, man. I could buy how many towels?" I'm like just like 50 towels, and that right there, that's like close to like retail like $50, wholesale maybe $30. So I'm like, just give me my towels back. That's all I asked for. But I'm currently dealing with it now because, the warning I want to give to y'all about this story, is not about, all these problems I had by bringing on an employee last minute trying to fill in. That's not that. It's to make sure that when you get insurance for your business, if you do get insurance or even for yourself, get an audit of it every like either 6 months or a year to make sure that you're properly covered. That's key right there, properly covered, because my insurance, the one that I had for these particular incidents, only cover if like there's an injury or if I get sued. But for car damage, if you wreck a car or something like that, for the essential things that we do, not fully covered. So it's to say that if you're in a situation where if you haven't even been in a situation yet and you do have business insurance or just have insurance in general, audit it and see what it covers for the things that you really want covered, Because that's like, that's a lot I got to deal with. But aside from that, you talked, I mentioned earlier about 8 million people possibly slipping into like poverty. Is that, look, it's a Columbia study. At the beginning of this year, the beginning of the COVID-19, this is like what, February, March?
Yeah, I want to say it was mid-March.
Yeah.
Mid-March. To
now, you're looking at almost 8 million people actually going below the poverty line. Like you're talking about the first from March all the way till about 2 months ago. What is that? September?
Yeah, September, October.
Yeah, it was 2 million. But now in the last 3 months, So you're talking about December, November, and October. I'm not sure if you're going to count December, but you're looking at additional 6 million people fall into poverty. I mean,
that's wild.
That's crazy. Like so we got 8 million people fall into poverty. So it's crazy because we see all this and they say, oh man, we got to keep the economy booming. And what people don't recognize is that the economy is not the stock market. They're two different things. When you talk about the economy is like doing well, it's the stock market is doing well. But the economy itself, which you could, consider for real estate, but that's only for people who are high income who could afford it.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the majority of America, like we're not doing so good, but it is good. Like before I even talk about how good it is for people who are in tech, you got right now 10,000 restaurants that are about to close in the next 3 weeks due to this whole pandemic. So right now you're seeing that there is a slump with Christmas shopping, and how people are going to be able to afford living until what they call, or the next stimulus check.
Yeah, next COVID bill.
Yeah, because I think it's like $908 billion that they're asking for, but the amount they're trying to give, you remember before they gave you that measly $1,200. Mm-hmm. Now they're skimping on you, and now they're trying to give $600 as a one-time payment.
Why they being so stingy with it though?
Why they being so stingy? Like, look, think about it. As much as you paid into taxes of your own personal labor, into taxes that you pay outside for anything that you purchase, and for living, and all the taxes you pay, most of the salaries, most of that went to go, again, political salaries and weapons. Because how is it that you're looking at $600 to help you in the situation that we're in right now with 8 million people in poverty now? That's just like, I don't know. Because when people are talking about the stock market's doing so well, it's because tech. Now that we have this phone and, it's like a perfect storm where we got to a moment where our phone is the most important thing now.
Yeah.
So that's why things are successful, like Clubhouse app, because, we're not able to go to conferences right now. We're not able to network like that. So this voice audio app made that happen. And I don't know how well it would have done if it wasn't during, COVID, and we got 3 major, like super major stocks that are actually going to come out that, okay, look, this has been the biggest year for IPOs, so initial public offerings, going into the stock market for tech ever. And remember in 2008 where we had that the Great Recession?
Yeah.
It's the same type of concept of during that time, a lot of people started their businesses. Even my business, it started a little bit before that in the summer of 2007, but that's the time where people really innovate. Because there's huge problems. When there's huge problems that arise that you didn't see before, then if you were in preparation before, boom, you can snap right into action. Like before Lyft became Lyft, they were a carpool service. So that Lyft was a whole carpool app. And then when they saw that Uber was becoming successful in what they were doing, they literally just did a few switches in their app, and then boom, now they're the second largest ride sharing company because of little tweaks they made during these times. So you got right now where, the 3 major stocks that are coming out, there's C3, which is C3.ai, and that's supposed to, help all the AI development within all these software companies and help the hardware. So, you're looking at from everything from like city municipals, like using it for their lights. There's a lot of AI that's coming in software, right? And then you got Doordash. And what makes Doordash special is that the whole delivery from, before you would go out and get your food. Now people literally are getting their food from a press of a button.
Yep.
That's all they're doing. Do you use DoorDash?
I love DoorDash.
Is that what you use, or do you use Uber Eats?
DoorDash.
Why DoorDash versus Uber Eats?
The thing about DoorDash, they always give me deals like, hey, if we do this, get 50% off, this. And so that's my go-to.
Yeah. So they're about to open, do their IPO, and everyone's thirsty for it. But here's why. I want to let you know why that's going to be a good play, and why what we don't see about the whole DoorDash and home delivery service and food, why it's going to, take us to the next level. If you look to invest in this particular stock, is their subscription service. Like they're going to do a $10 a month. I think that's what it is now for like a Dash Pass where
yeah, Dash Pass.
So you're familiar with it?
Yeah. I've been thinking about getting a Dash Pass as well too.
Yeah, so that would give you more access to like no fees for delivery. You pay that on a regular basis. And that right there, if most people sign up for that, obviously, most people are not going to use it like that, So if they have that subscription service that is giving them regular, revenue regularly every single month, that could be a game changer for like, DoorDash, But my favorite, I already told y'all about it, Airbnb. If you're not in on Airbnb, when I say go in on Airbnb, even if it's a slightly overpriced, Airbnb to me is definitely the future when it comes down to how people decide to live when they travel. It's a much better option at point blank period to get a home that has several rooms and several beds than get a hotel where you got to split different rooms and be in different hallways and do it like that. Even the experience. And, I feel like Airbnb and the fact that they even, their last quarter, this third quarter were profitable in a pandemic, showing that they're pandemic proof. I feel like that right there just shows this is a long-term play when you're looking into like DoorDash, not DoorDash, and looking into Airbnb, that subscription service. But, there's just a lot going on. I mean, I did learn about some other things that happened as far as like, I'm not even sure if this is even relevant, but 40% of businesses that have closed in the pandemic are Black owned.
Wow.
That's crazy, right?
Crazy.
Yeah. And the fact that we're not aware that these things are happening, because if you're hearing all these restaurants that are closing and all these people, and then you get into a moment now, like, how are you going to get out of this? Like, that's what the play is right now, is how you're going to get out of the situation, or what's your plan or strategy going to going forward for 2021? Have you set up your 2021 yet?
Not yet. But we're getting there towards Christmas time though.
So what's the hot list? What do you want for Christmas? Like what is hot on the list right now?
Just a PS5, man.
PS5.
That's all I want, bro. And it's crazy because I have a lot of friends that have been trying to get the PS5s, and they're not getting it through whatever it is, Walmart, Costco, Sam's. So they're not able to get one. So for me personally, I'm waiting to get a PS5 until it hits stores. I'm not gonna go through the hassle of me waiting online and me not getting one, because that's just too much.
Why? Like, what's the big deal? Let me see. Oh,
because the big deal is the bots. The bots are ruining everything. Just like if I was going to try to get a pair of the new Jordans and I can't get them because the bots are always there first come first served. So it's important for me to just wait it out and see, when they will restock and so forth. So that's all I'm waiting for.
Man, yeah, I would say for me, what I am looking for, I don't look for nothing for Christmas, but I feel like if there was something, because my birthday is coming up too. Yeah, next week. I'm going to be, the big 3'6". I'm starting to become a real man.
Same age as LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron, right? And LeBron seems so much older than me, to me.
The funny thing is, you're actually, I think you're a week older than LeBron.
When's his birthday?
I think it's the 30th.
The 30th of what, this month?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Wow, he's a Sag?
I believe so.
He might be a Capricorn, however they do the little dates or whatever.
Thing, yeah.
But I just want you to be able to look out for what these stock opportunities are gonna bring, because it should long term make you rich. Because I had a friend who put the majority of his money into Tesla at the time where Tesla wasn't looking great. They were thinking that it wasn't gonna go big or anything like that. And now this gentleman has become a multi-millionaire off of a single investment into Tesla. I'm talking about 200-300K put into Tesla. Now he's looking at like 2.1 mil off of a bet, So, what I think they say, what is that? What they said? They said they first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they get mad at you, and then you win. Is that how it goes?
I think, but I believe so.
Watch this be out of order and doesn't make no sense. Yeah, but and then they even said for the federal unemployment, they're going to give you weekly. They're going to drop that from $600 every week to $300 every week.
The extra $300?
Yeah, the extra $300.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it was extra $600.
Yeah.
And they're changing it to an extra $300.
Hey, something is something, bro. Something is so an extra $300 at that. I mean,
Yeah. Okay. Unemployment's ending this month, December what, 26th?
Yeah. So it ends the day after Christmas.
Man, this is going to be a very different Christmas.
Very different. So the thing is that they're hoping that they can get the bill passed through I believe the House. No, the Senate. Mm-hmm. So hopefully for that. So if they can get that passed before Christmas, it's gonna be a big deal. But if not, man, people are gonna be asked out come January.
Yeah, I know. But you can see that people are look. I always tell you about the Clubhouse app, and now it's getting crazier as you see how it's developing. And this is interesting because these new ideas start to build these little side economies. Whenever they do an all-star weekend somewhere,
yeah,
and then all the restaurants start to win because they get that residual fandom from all the people in the city. Mm-hmm. Okay, same things happen with Clubhouse, where now people are selling their Clubhouse invites.
Yes.
On eBay.
eBay, bro.
For how much? What was it? I think I saw one for $1,000.
It could be anywhere from $20 to $200 to $2,000, bro.
Yeah. So one guy selling 4 invites for $1,000 on eBay, and then you saw one that they're bidding for. It was at $55 when I saw it, but it had another 10 hours that people are actually like bidding for Clubhouse invites. I didn't know it was that hard to get into. Like, is it really?
Yeah, because it's like we talked about earlier. I think everybody gets like a one invite, and like it's more you're on the app, you might get 1, 2, 3. So
yeah, and then they're saying that they're now training and hiring moderators for groups. I mean, for rooms. And again, like I told you, you go in a room, the moderator is the one who handles and creates the flow of the conversation, lets people know who's in the queue, who's waiting in line to speak, or they say something. Now they're training and hiring people to actually be moderators for people, like their own rooms or whatever. It's like, I don't know if this is just like premature in what people are doing, or just being thirsty. Cause like remember Popeyes whenever they dropped that sandwich?
Oh my God. That was pandemonium.
Yeah. That was pandemonium when it got to a point to where someone died.
They were fighting over it.
Over a sandwich.
Coworkers were fighting like it was like over a sandwich.
Bro, can you think about that? If you died over a sandwich, like this is in jail. You know what I mean?
This is in jail, bro.
Man, it just seems like, look, there's some enemies of progress out there. I just want y'all to know this, and just don't be what do you call it? Don't be too thirsty out here.
Yeah, man. Don't be starving out here, man.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things going on, but I would just say invest. And for those who want to invest in themselves, just understand when you invest in anything, the payoff isn't ASAP, right? When you start, I'm talking about the payoff is usually later on. Investment is a long-term game. So if you're choosing to either invest in the stock market or invest in like apps and upcoming tech or invest in yourself, just understand that it will pay off, but don't expect it to pay off immediately. It'll take time. So be patient. Is there anything else you want to add to the people?
Nah, man. Well, I had this, hope everybody has a safe Christmas, get your Christmas shopping in.
We're going to have another episode before Christmas though. But you just making sure that people know to have a safe
people
Christmas.
know. Yeah, just be safe out there, So
yeah, I feel the same way. I hope that y'all enjoy your holidays, and try to get in the Christmas spirit because it's important to be in the Christmas spirit.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It only comes once a year, so
it's my favorite holiday.
Really is. Like this time every year, Thanksgiving, Christmas, favorite time of the year.
Yeah, but man, it's kind of been shifted this year,
Yeah, because of COVID. Like I said, like. We didn't even visit. We didn't even visit our cousins because of COVID. So we just stayed in the house all day and had our family dinner.
Yeah, but even today, I'm surprised I even had anything to like talk to y'all about because honestly, like I kind of been off the whole news and there hasn't been really much happening in the business world like that this week. And Clubhouse takes a lot of it. Yeah. Oh, this actually happened to me because I know it sounds like I'm unprepared here, but this is the last thing. I realized by talking to a business coach that, they help a lot. I didn't realize that, they're almost like counselors in a way to tell you like how to strategically make a move. They call it like tactical support. Yeah. And I didn't pay for one yet, but one reached out to me and in that one single call changed my life. Having a business coach, and someone telling, like, you bouncing your ideas or whatever you're about to do, and them clarifying it and tell you what resources to go to and what tech to use and what people to hire. It's just amazing. It's been a life changer. So if you're into, business coaches, or you haven't thought about going in that direction, I would suggest it. I recommend. But appreciate you all for listening. Again, we have so much fun here. I think it was 49th episode.
49, 50 coming up next week.
50 coming up next week. It's a big deal. Thank you so much. See you on the next segment with this is such a great guy. Jeremiah Aigbele, Triple Entendre on social media. He's an incredible person. I've been knowing him since he's been yay high, and he's an entrepreneur, does a lot of things in the community. By that community, I mean the Black community, the Nigerian community, the first generation community. He's an amazing person, just because he wants to get these ideas out there and make an impact. So I'd love for y'all to join us in that conversation that's coming up next. And we'll see you. Peace.
Peace.
What's good? What's good? What's good, bro?
How's it going?
I'm good. Man. I'm good. If y'all don't already know, I got my boy Jeremiah Aigbele here.
Glad to be here.
And this has been like a long time in the making. Because we talked earlier when we first started, we talked earlier about us really getting into a conversation.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I think people need to know is like, who are you? Okay. And that's a hard one.
Yeah.
So it's a tough one because you got to think about who you are. Mm-hmm. And I can tell you how I know you as a stand-up guy.
Okay.
Within the Nigerian community. Okay. First generation, entrepreneur, brand ambassador of several brands that you own, and about building wealth.
Yeah.
But how would you describe yourself?
Man, okay, that's tough. First of all, I want to thank you for having me be a part of this, man. Like,
Like
I said, I've been watching like from afar, and you've been someone who's been inspiring me, right? And the reason why I went to Lamar University, to be honest with you, you're one of the reasons why, because you're already there.
Oh, that's dope.
And I like to say that I'm a better man because of you, and thank you.
Bro,
just for
are you hearing this?
Nah, bro. Like, I like to give people the flowers, right, when they can smell it.
Yeah.
And you've been like I've been blessed to have a lot of like male mentors to look at.
Yeah, that's true.
But just about me, really, I want to say I'm a man with many tastes, right? I'm into fashion. I'm into my faith. I'm into music.
Yeah.
But I guess my story really grew up in a family of 5 boys, including myself, right?
Wow.
So you
all boys, no girls.
Bro.
No I already know.
At all. So I kind of just developed an attitude and just like cockiness, just learning from my brothers and whatnot. But I think I would describe myself as.
But you're not the youngest, right?
No, I'm number 4 out of 5. Yeah. So I have one younger brother and I have 3 older brothers. Right? Yeah. So it was, man, bro, in the house.
I already know.
It was a lot.
How many things you could break?
Not even that. Just you have to fight for food because.
Yeah.
It's like 5 of us, so we're all hungry. My dad, at one point in time, he had to lock the fridge because he's like, "No, I'm tired of
What you mean, like actual?
He had to create like a little lock and put it around the fridge just so we wouldn't go and like
this is crazy.
At nighttime and just get food and everything.
Yeah.
They got tired of just going back to the grocery store like every week or like twice a week, I should say. And yeah,
who was the person who was most aggressive when it came to like of 5 of y'all?
Yeah,
the ones who would really do the fighting, because I'm sure it's not all 5.
That's a good question. I think it was a little bit of, Theo. Yeah.
That's your oldest.
Yeah. That's yeah. He's
hey, man. Feast or famine, man.
Feast or famine out there.
Yeah. And he just had twins.
Man, he just had twins.
Man, congrats.
Yeah. Well, 5 years ago, but
yeah.
So that's another thing. I had 2 brothers who had twins, set of twins.
Yeah.
So we had 2 set of twins in our family. Who knows? I might have set of twins.
Yeah, for real. Wow.
Yeah, but I would say I'm just someone that likes to push the culture forward, right? In a positive way, not in a negative way, and just show people things that haven't been done before and show people the possibilities, because I feel like we all talented, we're all gifted, and we got to tap into that more and just really just impact the culture in a positive way.
Yeah. So you're about impact.
Bro, that's all I'm about.
So how do you go about trying to make an impact?
I want to say just through events. Through creating spaces, through building community, right? I think that's the biggest thing is like the impact, because impact can happen directly and indirectly, right? So people are always watching us. Like, you didn't even know I was watching you growing up, and a lot of things that you were doing impacted me.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm huge on impact, and because sometimes we don't know what we want to be. A lot of times until we see somebody else do it, somebody else who's bold and audacious to be able to like step out and do those things. So
that's crazy. Yeah, it's true.
So I'm huge on impact.
It's funny because I thought, like, when people jump from job to job or for different thing, different brand to different brand. And sometimes you start something and you see someone do something in a way that you never saw it. And they look at it sometimes like you're switching up all the time. It's like, no, I'm not changing my mind. This person is doing it in a way that I didn't envision for myself.
Exactly.
And you sometimes get exposed to that depending on who you're around. And it gets hard trying to make that impact, and like build that community. When it comes to building a community, what are because you built one, at least on social media, right? So that was that a type of strategy that you like put together, or is something that you did organically?
I think a little bit of both. I think I wanted to impact people and bring people together. Yeah. But the reason why I say it was strategic was because the way I went about doing it, as far as on Twitter, like I follow like a whole bunch of people. Yeah. So a lot of people look at that like weird, like, dang, why you follow so many people, right? And I get it, because you do want to be mindful of the ideas and the things people put out there. Yeah. But I see it like I want to connect with everybody. Yeah. So there's a lot of people, but this is X amount of people who I'm following, X amount of people who I'm connected with, and connected to. And if I go to like a New York, which I do a lot, when I go to LA, when I go to these places, I know people who are there, and they can tell me, hey, this is how it is over here. Because I'm a
you
foodie.
could damn near be like a local wherever you go.
Exactly, because you have people who are on the grounds and you're connected to people out there. So that's the way I look at it. It's like I'm connecting with these people and just creating conversations around a lot of things where we can all talk and bring our viewpoints together. Yeah,
because you have several brands. Yeah. You have one where you deal with music, which is a connector.
Wave on Q, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have the Elyon, and that's a fashion / I would say it's not religious, but what would you consider it? It's like
I want to say I want to say it's religious, but it's just my faith inspired it, right?
Yeah, I'm actually wearing the shirt if y'all see it.
Bro, that's
super comfortable. Yeah. It's one of the original OGs. Yeah.
I'm actually wearing the shirt for the new line. I need to take this jacket off.
That's dope. Yeah. What does it
say? You can't love God without loving the earth. Well, you can't love God and ignore the earth.
Yeah. Oh, I get that.
Yeah. So it's one thing too. Those the long sleeve that you had, I'm trying to get one too, but it was all sold out. So
So with my brand, like I wanted to be impactful because I'm not about just selling shirts. In my honest opinion, I would rather create something that's going to impact culture and change culture than make money. Yeah. Right. Yeah. If I'm making a lot of money for my brand, but it's not impacting culture or shifting the culture, I'm not going to be happy in my opinion. So it's more than just like creating a brand and selling t-shirts to me.
Yeah, because a lot of people go for the money. Yeah. And it's hard not to be blinded by that. But see, you have the luxury of having your day job plus these other brands, right? So how do you work that out with your day job versus like your own personal brands, business brands? How you do that?
So my day job is basically like my flagship, is what funds my my brands and my creativity, right? So it's the reason why I'm able to invest in things I like to do.
What do you do actually?
So I work for GM Financial. I work in tech. So I work on the SharePoint. Thank you. SharePoint going on to Office 365 team. Yeah. So right now we're in the transition where we're going from on-prem. So on-prem is basically like
PREM.
Yes. So on-prem is basically like, let's say you have an iPhone, right? And iPhone, everything's like stored within the device and stored like on everything's stored in house, right? Yeah. And right now we're moving to O365, which is on the cloud. So basically, like, you know how the iCloud is, that wasn't there before. So now you can have storage in your phone, but also in the cloud. So that's what Office 365 allows. So now it's a whole little thing, because my company was pushing back, because now whenever you do that transition to the cloud, you make yourself more susceptible to outside of cyber attacks. So they were kind of
that is true. That.
So
you work with that transition,
working with that transition as far as migrating the content from on-prem to the cloud.
So that's your day job. You do that Monday through Friday.
Then afterwards, I start being creative, working on my creative things as far as Wave on Q. So with IQ. We started that this year with a group of friends within my group chat.
Yeah.
And the reason why we started that was we wanted to create stories that created different stories, and we say like we're telling stories through music, right? So what we did was we created a short story that was talking about just things that we're going through with. It's like fictional characters, but it's things we're going through as far as love life, right?
Yeah.
As far as what we're going through COVID, Thanksgiving.
So it's really intentional how you pick that
very
playlist.
Intentional. Then around the story, we build a playlist around the story. So you get to read the story and you get to listen to the playlist. So it's kind of like two parts, right? Because we're being creative because we're writing stories, but we're also being creative because we're using music to tell a story.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was the idea behind that. And we create this different playlist, which is dope.
And then you started that how long ago?
Man, we started in January this year.
Oh, January. Oh, so 2020. So that's a fresh new.
Fresh new.
And then Elyon?
Yeah, Elyon, we started that in 2007. I mean, 2017. I'm tripping.
So 3 years been doing that.
3 years been doing it, and it's been a great experience. It's grown. Met so many just dope people just out of it. You're actually one of the people who inspired me to start it.
Yeah.
I think I told you about that
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
so.
But you can tell it again.
Because just to tell it again, I remember coming to you. It's like, man, I want to do something like new. I want to like build a brand and right now and stuff. And you're like, well, what are you selling? What are you offering? I was like, nothing. He's like, so how you going to create a brand? How you going to do that if you're not selling anything? And it kind of made me think. I was like, you know what? You're right. And I always wanted to have a clothing line, but I looked at it like, man, I'm not going to do that. Everybody has a clothing line. Everybody has this. But what I realized was it doesn't matter if everybody else is doing it. I'm going to bring something new. I'm going to bring something fresh. So I decided to bring like faith into it and fashion.
Faith based. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, faith based. Yeah.
So faith based fashion in a way.
Correct. Yeah.
Are you the only one in this type of area where you're kind of like, I would say edgy, but like faith based?
So I don't like to put faith based label on it because I want to appeal to everyone, right? And
is that a good thing?
That's the thing right there. So that's another conversation when it comes.
We can have that conversation.
Yeah, because like I feel like as a believer, we're supposed to be bold in who we are, and we're not supposed to shy away from it. Yeah, which I'm all for. But I think that me being a part of it, me being a believer, it speaks for itself. Like, yes, I'm a Christian. What inspires my creativity is my faith. So I don't have to name it as a faith-based brand, right? In and out, they have like Bible scriptures within their packaging, right? But you're not going to name it a faith-based burger spot. Chick-fil-A, I don't think you will name it a faith-based. So I feel like that's how I look at it as far as my brand, right? Yeah. Yes, a lot of things, the messages I have in it is faith-based, but I don't want to say it's like a faith-based brand. I think it's like a kind of like.
I get it because I told someone about like within my business with the car wash. People used to say, "Oh man, I remember y'all used to advertise as far as like doing it with 1 cup of water, about 1 cup of water." Be like, "Man, that was so dope, right?" But within the business, it created like a split between customers where they make a decision before they even walk in of saying, "My car is this dirty. There's no way they could do it with 1 cup." Or if there was a mistake, which always happens, they'll say, "You see, you need more water." I'm like, so it actually became more of like a deterrence of growth versus like a supporter of growth, So I kind of changed that branding in a way to kind of be a little bit more reflective as far as like the results that we bring and what, the feelings and the transactions that we give our customers, So is that kind of like.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's another reason why, because I want people who aren't believers to wear my clothes, right? I don't want it to just appeal to like one set of people because, like I said, I want to impact culture. I want to impact people in general, right? So I want people who won't even go to a church to be able to see messages of hope and love and things that are going to like impact them and make them feel better about themselves, right? But it's kind of like mixing the candy with the medicine, right? Because I do have friends who aren't believers who wear my stuff, and I have people who they go to clubs, they go like wearing this stuff, which that's why I want, right? Because it's kind of like the contrast. It's like I want it to be raw, I want it to be.
But that's what But like remember like Lecrae? I don't really listen to his music too much, and he goes with I think he considers himself a Christian rapper, but I think he tried to get out of that a little bit, right? Because are considered a Christian rapper, that automatically just cuts.
Exactly.
People won't even start listening to you because they think, oh, this is going to be more of a motivational song versus like something I'm trying to hear, right? About like the streets or whatever. So I kind of look at it like it's weird when it comes to like faith, you know, and how you mix it with your brand.
Yeah.
Because Lecrae could have came into it just, I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
And then put his faith into his rap as he raps.
Exactly.
But instead he did the other way around, which a lot of people do, which is you already box yourself in coming into it.
Exactly.
And then you realize like, oh, I shouldn't box myself in. I should make it available to whoever, you know, whoever wants to listen.
Exactly.
So I see what you're talking about. Yeah.
And even like somebody like a Kanye, right?
Yeah.
And he made like basically like a Christian music, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
we wouldn't say his music was faith based, or
exactly.
Like we still look at him as Kanye.
Yeah.
So
I don't look at him as Kanye. The same Kanye. I know you're like a Kanye stan,
bro. Yeah. I love Kanye.
Same. I'm a Kanye stan too.
There we
you
go.
are. Yeah. Oh well. Either way, y'all could keep that or whatever because, but he's influenced your brand as well.
Yes, because like he influenced me like in general. Period. To be honest with you, like reason why, because he came out with College Dropout when I was still a freshman in high school. And at the time, it was nothing but like just gangster rappers, which I listened to, but I couldn't really relate because I'm Nigerian, coming from a 2-parent home in the suburbs, and I'm not a gangster, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And so Kanye came along and he was himself and he was talking about real stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, I can relate to this guy because he showed me that I didn't have to be something I wasn't not to fit in. I can still be who I am and true to myself and still be respected, still be loved, still be valued, right? And I just love how he just came in the game. He was new, fresh, and he just changed it.
Yeah, he did.
And he's into fashion. I was like, okay, I'm into fashion too. He was unapologetic. I was like,
man,
I'm there with him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, because he really laid the blueprint for being bold.
Bro, yes.
You know, like people just like to put themselves in a certain box or a certain lane and said, this is all you could really do. He would switch up. I mean, when he switched up to fashion, and people were just like, what are you doing? Like, stay in music. Are you serious? And then like you see now, and it's crazier with his brand, the brand, not even like the assets, the brand of Yeezy worth $5 billion.
Yeah.
Just crazy. The brand. You know what I'm saying? Like this is different than a building with workers and factories. So the fact that he created something from scratch, brought it to a $5 billion valuation, and was still doing music, has a family, has a lot of things. I mean, there's a lot to learn from that.
Man, it's a lot because it just shows you like not to put any limits on yourself, right?
Yeah.
And to do things afraid and to know that just because people haven't done before, just because you're getting a lot of pushback, doesn't mean it should mean like you should still go follow your heart, follow what you feel like is best for yourself. And he went from, like you said, nobody wanted him to be a rapper, and he proved the world wrong. Now he's like the biggest rapper there is. Yeah. Then a lot of people say like stick to rapping, but like y'all are the same ones who told him not to rap. Not gonna say stick to rapping. Then he went to music. I mean fashion, and he's killing it in fashion. A lot of people are just like just seeing what he's doing and also kind of like stealing it. But
he made people eat their words, really. Yeah. Because that's really the sad part is that people don't really want you to win. You know what I mean? Like they'll tell you, like, keep going, do your thing. But then when they start seeing you get to a level where you're like starting to change and become something, they feel threatened because the decisions they made.
Because they're comfortable seeing you in one position when like it's like someone if you're growing up with someone, a lot of people like to, and they change. They don't like to recognize their change and their growth because you're too close to that growth. You're too close to that change because you don't believe it. Yeah. Right. But a lot of times like. It takes people who don't know you to like respect that growth and respect that change. But yeah, it's just weird how we like to put people in a box, or we feel uncomfortable when people are different to what we knew them from. Yeah.
Now with all that said, like, are you doing like new collections or like brands within Elyon or what? Like, what do y'all do?
Man, so this week, I should say, we dropped our new collection and it's titled "You Can't Love God and Ignore the Earth," right? And it was basically inspired by what we're going through right now, COVID. And they believe that COVID started because of the factory farms in Wuhan, China. And what the factory farms is they have to feed so many people. So they're eating like a lot of just different things that are not normal to us. So a lot of different animals. So by building these factory farms, they're in They're tearing down a lot of places that animals inhabit, right? So with that, they're saying that's how like the virus started, because the pigs and the bat and cross contamination, which is different animals being these factory farms, right? So that made me and my team think about just taking care of the climate and the earth, right? Because that's how like a lot of these things are happening to our earth, is like we're exhausting its resources, right? Yeah, exhausting its resources. Yeah,
because you see like in the weather that's changing with the wildfires.
Exactly. Yeah, wildfires, hurricanes, a lot of these things, right? And a lot of these things are natural, of course. And it's a controversial topic that we wanted to like face head on, because a lot of people view it different ways, and we don't feel like it's political because we believe that God created the earth, and since God created the earth, he created us and he put us in charge to have dominion over the earth. So as that, we should be good stewards of the earth, right? Yeah. So we created a shirt, this one right here, and it has the name of our collection, but also at the back it has global warming and global warning, saying the meaning behind that is global warming is a warning that if we don't take care of the earth, we're going to experience catastrophic events like COVID and a lot of these forest fires, a lot of these things, right?
All the peripheral things that happen,
Exactly. So we changed our production as far as everything is recyclable and it's disposable and compost, right? So none of the platinum.
So everything like fully sustainable.
So we're on the.
Let's go. That's dope. Hold on. Did y'all do this from the beginning, or?
We just started because we didn't want to create things that are promoting like recycling and take care of the earth. We're not doing it ourselves, right? Yeah. And of course we're not perfect. There's a lot of things we're working on, but we're on a journey this year of sustainability and just learning, doing more research on these type of things. So we're very cognizant of that, right? And another shirt that we created in our collection is called Living Water. And as you can see, what happened in Flint, water is very essential to to life, human life. Essential water, shout out to them.
Shout out, it's my favorite water. Actually, yeah.
Take a sip, yeah. But every living organism needs water.
Yeah.
Like, that's why they're on Mars looking for water, because they're trying to see if there's living, so in the Bible, water was mentioned 722 times. That's way more than faith, hope, and love. In the Bible, when God created the earth, in Genesis 1:2, it talks about water. Water was created on the first day. So we're already knowing that water is essential. Water is important to human life. And we like to create things that have wordplay or double entendre. We love hip hop, right? So Living Water is the name of the shirt. But you look at, water is essential, but also in John 2:10, when Jesus was talking to the woman at the well, and that's a whole nother story, but
I'm learning, I'm listening, yeah.
So he told her, I'm the living water. Anybody who thirsts for me will never thirst again, right? So we looked at it, water is essential to living. Jesus is living water. God is living water. Put those things together, it's like a double entendre. It has double meaning behind it, right? Yeah. So that was the brain and the heart behind it, the collection and everything.
It's crazy because, with Jaden, when he started doing the whole water thing and he did it like in Flint, as you gave the example to, I see y'all pushing like water in a different type of way. Yeah. It almost like pushing water through fashion.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's dope.
And we want, like we said, we want to create conversations, things that are impactful, things shift the culture. And that's the only way to do is to tack on these tough, well, it's not really tough in my opinion, but these controversial issues that we don't feel like it's political, but it's became politicized. But we got to attack it.
Well, this might be a little bit challenging, but does your brand like support like clean water when it says like, when people put a little piece of their brand into, giving this to the homeless, I don't want to get too far into like another brand, but there's another one called Outside Texas. Yeah. And they're trying to get people outside, but they're more promoting it to people who already are outside, but they didn't have any type of, like impact purpose that help people who stay inside go outside. So I wonder, you think this will bring more awareness to people, like in a way that's obvious to like what's happening with the world?
That's our goal, to bring more awareness, to shine a light on what's going on in the world, and just take on this new get on this new journey of like sustainability, right? It's kind of like clean eating, right? It's like a lot of people didn't know that what are these processed foods did to our bodies. Now they're learning, now they're doing their own research. So just people do their own research when it comes to sustainability and learning the effects we have on the ecosystem, on the environment. So that's pretty much it right there.
I feel that. So with Elyon, So that's your second brand.
What, my first?
Your first.
First, yeah.
Okay, what was the second one? Was that the Wave on Q or is that?
Wave on Q.
Okay, third.
2 or More. But
Okay.
that's not a brand. That's like a network group.
Okay, what's 2 or more?
So 2 or More is something actually, well, I started that 4 years ago. So that was my first thing.
Oh, okay, dope.
So I grew up in the church, and like we were just saying, so I saw something to where there's like a lot of women ministries, right? And a lot of things that were impacting women and for women, but there wasn't a lot of areas for men because, to be honest with you, men in general don't really care about just church, to be honest with you. If you want to bring men together, it has to be like 3 things. It has to be money, women,
Yeah.
or it has to be like some type of sport or competition. If it doesn't have any of those 3 things, good luck getting men to show up, right?
Yeah.
So we wanted to do something to where we're creating a space for men to come together, but talk about issues that are affecting us in the community, right? And so we had 3 pillars, like Christ, community, culture. What does Christ say about it? What does the community say about it? And what does the culture say about it? And we just having just different conversations about it. And
is it more like a not like a Bible study, but like a podcast type, or what is it?
So it's basically an open form of discussion, and we're just presenting questions and we're bouncing ideas off of each other. We're sharing our experiences growing up. Because a lot of us are dealing with trauma, a lot of us dealing with real issues, and it's not a part of the culture for men to talk about these things.
Like a safe space.
Yeah, so we're creating a safe space for men to come and just talk about real life issues.
Can anybody come in, or
Anybody can come in. We have people who weren't believers that came in, right? So, but the thing is, the conversation is steered and directed from a biblical lens. But if you have a different point of view, we're open to hearing that as well.
Oh, okay. So, that's 3. What's the 4th one? 'Cause I know you have one with not wholesaling.
Okay, yeah. So my brother, it's Soul Enhancements. So my brother, he actually just quit his job and he's doing this full time as far as we're selling shoes.
Let's go. Yeah. He quit his job and he's doing it full time?
Full time.
Wow, full-time. That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing.
And he was making good money because he's an accountant and everything.
Yeah.
So it's basically just like consignment kind of sort of where we get shoes from Italy, just different boutiques, and we're able to sell luxury shoes at below retail. Yeah. And we mainly still sell on StockX and GOAT. Yeah. And right now we're trying to build a brand off of that because let's say next StockX and GOAT decide to kick us off their platform, we're kind of like screwed. Yeah. So we want to build our own brand, but yeah, that's what I do on the side. I don't do it as much as my brother does because like that's his full-time thing.
Yeah, that's full-time.
Yeah, so but I do it on the side.
So how do you make time for all these particular things? Which is another challenging question. Like, how do you make time for the things that you truly love and make budget for more time for the other things you want to discover? Like, how do you do it?
So hard. It's so hard. And that's one thing I've been learning this year really is being more intentional with scheduling my day out, scheduling my week. And I've been bad at sticking to it and being consistent, but you have to schedule your calendar out. You have to have a calendar. So
that's where I suffer.
Yeah, bro, it's so tough. It's so hard because I'm used to like waking up and doing whatever I want, but you have to have a little bit of structure if you want to do everything. So I like to make the example as kind of like playing Tetris. And
yeah.
I'm not sure if like a lot of people out there know what Tetris is because a lot
of that old school
Gen Z, yeah. But
yeah, I think everyone knows what Tetris is.
You know Tetris? Okay.
No, I'm saying some people might. It's like Tetris or Pac-Man. That's like the two
just
old
Google
school.
It. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised. I've come across a lot of people who don't know what that is. Yeah. But it's a game too where there's like different shapes and different like boxes and squares, and you have to basically like fit it in. Right? Yeah. And if you don't fit it in, it's gonna get stacked up and it's out of order. So what I've been trying to do in my life is basically like play a game of Tetris where, okay, you got to fit this right here, fit this piece right here. Okay, I got 30 minutes right here to do this. I got 20 minutes to do it. Right? So you have to just fit everything together neatly. And that comes with organization. That comes with structure. That comes with planning, which I'm trying to get better at.
Does that give you anxiety at all?
It gives me anxiety a lot. Yes.
Yeah, I would imagine, right? Like, what is your definition of anxiety? Like when you feel like you have anxiety?
When you're overwhelmed, when your heart is like just beating fast, like, oh my God, this is like right now I have anxiety because like I'm on the podcast. Like I'm nervous. Yeah. And I'm getting my wisdom teeth pulled tomorrow, so I have anxiety about that. Yeah. Because like at the back of my mind, I keep on thinking about it. And I've never been under like sedation.
Are they gonna put you under?
They're gonna put me under to remove my wisdom teeth.
All of them? How many?
All of them, 4.
I need to get mine removed. Yeah.
So only reason why I'm doing this because like this is a side note, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to get too off.
Hey, it's all good. We got plenty of time.
So mint dentistry.
Mm-hmm. Ugh, I had a bad experience.
I'm done. Yeah. I'm done with them. So I got my root canal done last year, right? And they were supposed to call me back to come in so I can get the cap, the permanent cap, or crown. Mm-hmm. They never called me back, and by the time I was able to do, cause I went out the country, so they didn't call me back, so I had to go out the country. I came back and put it on, it didn't fit, so I had to go through the process again,
the whole thing,
to where they had to take a measurements and everything, right? Then COVID happened. Then it was like a lot of mess. So I had to go 3 times, and they had to give me another root canal because over time it got infected. Man, so the last time I went, they weren't able to put it in correctly because they said my wisdom teeth was in the way. So I'm like, what? I'm like, bro, what is this? Like every time I go back, it's like something wrong. Yeah. And to be honest, I should have took my wisdom teeth out a long time ago, but I was like, man, I ain't trying to do that. So I'm gonna go do that again, just so I can get this root canal taken care of, so I can be done with these people. Yeah. But I'm 32, so I gotta take them out. Anyways.
Well, I didn't know that you have to take them out, but
you don't have to.
Mine annoy me. Dude.
Yeah. If it annoys you, and mine haven't really annoyed me, but I guess they suggest people taking out.
Can't even floss back there. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you there for? But
exactly. So I'm really, really nervous about that.
So when you deal with being overwhelmed with things, do you go through a process of changing subjects with yourself, or how do you get out of that whenever it comes to managing different things?
That's good. I want to say just you have to take a pause and just reflect and understand that everything you need is already inside of you, and just tap into that and encourage, because we talk bad about ourselves a lot, right?
All the
we
time.
have a lot of negative thoughts.
Our own worst critic.
We had to counteract that with positive words and boost your self-esteem and bro, you're made for this, bro. You're talented. And I'm faith-based. I'm believing God. So a lot of it comes from for what the Bible says about who I am, right? It's God created you. God put these gifts to you for a reason. God put these brands in your heart. So he's going to give you everything you need to make it come together, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what empowers me. That's what gives me hope to continue to do the things I'm doing. So I go from that standpoint, bro, pause, chill out. It's not that bad. Sometimes I may call a friend and let them know, hey man, this is what I'm going through right here.
Is that hard too? Because you gotta be vulnerable with people.
Yeah.
And they could use that against you.
It hasn't been hard for me because I have a lot of people who I trust, but I can understand why some people might be apprehensive to doing that because, like you said, people do use it against them. But I haven't experienced that yet.
You haven't experienced any type of issue with friends not being supportive of what you do? Well, in that way, where you talk to them and say, "Hey, this is what I'm going through," and they're like, "Oh man, but why do you even do all that?"
To be honest with you, I can't remember.
Yeah, I've had it.
It probably has, but I can't remember. But I think a lot of people, I felt a lot of positive experience of people cheering me on. Bro, keep on going. You got it. Right? And yeah,
man. Because out there right now, I got one of my boys, whatever. He was talking about, candidly about how he's just trying to have his breakout moment. And he's just not feeling the support. And I understand it. But I feel that's part of the journey. It's not having it's good that you have a good support group. Not everybody has a really good support group to lean on, especially when they're overwhelmed or going through things. Because sometimes you got to be your own best friend and talk to yourself and get yourself out of that. Sometimes people even use music like Some Thug if they feel some type of way and they listen to music and it changes their thinking, So
I would say just if you don't have a support group, because there might be times where I think people should support me, and you can take it personal, or you can take it as motivation to, okay, they're not supporting me, but what can I do to get them to support me, right? Yeah. Or maybe I should reach out to other people to support me because maybe what I'm offering they're not interested in, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. But also support looks different ways too, because if I'm in close relationship with people and I'm supporting you as a friend, and you're not supporting me back. And like I said, support can be anyways. It could be you liking a picture, commenting. It could be you reposting. It could be you giving advice. It could be you sharing what I'm doing with your friends. It doesn't have to be monetary, but it has to be support in some sort of fashion Because if I'm supporting, because with me, I like to say I'm my friend's biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
I'm pumped them up like, bro, keep on going, bro. Like what you're doing is dope. Like, oh my God, like, and it's not like false, like, because I do believe in it. But I think when you, because my love languages are words of affirmation. So that's the way I like to receive love. So that's the way I like to give love too. Like I love to give people the flowers when they can still smell it, because like I said, this world tears us down so much. Like we go on social media, we see these images of everybody else doing well, and it can make you feel inferior, right? So sometimes we need those words to where we have people who are encouraging us, let us know what we're doing is working, what we're doing is dope. And you understand how big that can be for somebody's day. You can understand how that can transform somebody's life. Just positive words.
But even 10 times, like if you got 10 people who gave you positive words, is that one person who gave you the negative that people pay attention to.
True.
You know? And a lot of times they feel like when someone says something negative, it's usually somewhere close to, they feel it themselves. And it's something that becomes more true, because you get praised a lot for, hey, you should, great job, or that looks good. But then there's somebody who's like, it looks cheap. You know what I mean? And you're like,
So I'm trying to develop a mindset to where you're never as good as they say you are, and you're never as bad as you say you are, right?
Yeah.
So we made a shirt we knew it was edgy, and it was like the Devil Thought He Had Me shirt, right?
Yeah, super dope.
And the front of it was like a picture out The Exorcist, right? And somebody made a comment saying, like, it was just like a rude comment saying like, maybe you need to like speak with the Holy Spirit when you're creating these things, because what is this, like, what you're selling shirts in the name of Jesus and stuff. And I was instantly like upset, pissed off.
You're triggered
because there's certain words that a lot of believers use to try to challenge your faith and your belief system. I like to think that. So it's being black and being Christian is like some of the most, like, bro, because you're constantly being checked about how black you are. You're constantly being checked about how much of a Christian you are, right? And it's instant trigger. So the way I responded was kind of like bad, in a way, because I'm like, you're someone who never supported us at all. You just started. You don't even follow us, and you're making a comment. We posted so much great content as far as like uplifting people, fruits of the spirit, blessed is she. You never said not one word about that. You're gonna take out 10 seconds out of your day to point out the wrong. And of course, like I use that for my personal account, and my friends have to check me. It's like, bro, we can't respond out of emotions. Like we have to like, but like I don't like when people try to like come for like my faith and like what type of Christian or believer I am. And
you feel like it's from like a judgmental thing.
It's judgmental, and that's another reason why I created my brand, because I wanted to create a culture, create a space to where you don't have to, you could be unique and still follow God. I feel like a lot of people feel like just because you're a believer, you have to be in this box. Your life should look this way, right? And I feel like we should always follow the standard that God set out for us, right? But my faith and the way I'm going to enact my faith and follow out my faith is going to look different from anybody else's, right? Our lives are going to look different. Of course, we should have certain fruit, but I feel like it's legalism when we're trying to put people in the boxes and we're saying, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, when maybe God didn't tell me that, right? And of course, there's some things that are non-negotiable at all when it comes to like sin and stuff, but there's other things like, it's just gray areas. Like, I'm cool with that. And you can't say I don't love Jesus because I'm cool with that.
And it's part of your brand. And on top of that, what's the process when it comes to design, print? Like, because you had to source all that when you jumped in, because at first you didn't really know anything, right? So you had to do the research. Then you had to like try things out. Like, were there mistakes that you're making along the way that you're like, oh man, you know what I mean? Like, you're almost like, man, is this even worth it?
Exactly.
You know, because people really don't know the behind the scenes.
They don't.
And they see the outcome. They're like, wow, super dope, looks easy. And they don't know how hard it was and all the delays and all the cancellations or the mistakes that you made and had to pay for. So what happened at your beginning when you were starting that you had to like, you know, humble yourself with?
I want to say one person that was like helpful was my friend Kufre, because he had a brand before, and he came on board with us, and he basically showed us the rope as far as like certain things to do. But I want to say one mistake we did make was we
I'm just
Excuse me. But yeah, we created 2 shirts, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just laughing right now because it's just so like I can't believe this happened.
Yeah.
We created 2 shirts, and 2 of the shirts had misspellings on it. Mm-hmm. So one of them we had Elyon misspelled.
Yeah.
And the other thing we had preparatory misspelled, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a hard word in itself to like. But
yeah,
we did a photo shoot with it as well because we didn't catch it till after the. So we spent.
Hold on. So y'all got it printed?
Printed.
Then you had the photo shoot.
Photo shoot.
Yeah.
Pictures are back.
Yeah.
Didn't catch it till after that. And I'm like, what were we doing?
Bro,
and and the thing about it is I set these designs to like at least 3-4 people, and
no one caught it. Yeah, nobody caught it,
and I did not catch it until afterwards, and I was like so upset. I'm like, what in the world?
Were you the one who caught it?
I was the one who caught it. Yeah, and
hold on, were you the one who misspelled it?
One of them, yeah. Okay, so I'm not sure if I was supposed to say this on but. I designed one of the shirts when I was at work. Yeah. So I suck in multitasking. Yeah. Yeah. So I spelled Elyon EYLON. And it's spelled E. Wait, I'm tripping.
No, you spelled it right because it's ELYON and you spelled it EYLON.
Yeah, exactly. So I mixed that up and I didn't catch it till afterwards. And we sent it to the print shop to because they're going to print what we tell them to print, right? Yeah. And the preparatory, we told the designer who was helping us with that, like the spelling. So, but I didn't misspell that one. It was somebody else on the team.
Yeah, but it's on one shirt.
Yeah, it was on 2 different shirts.
2 different shirts.
2 different shirts. That's
on the same line that y'all are about to drop.
Same line. Man, so we lost like a lot of money. We had to reprint it. It was a learning lesson. Though,
how many like not specifically, but like y'all go through a full run of printing them out, and then that's when you realize like.
Yeah, so we like to print like about. Well, at the time we were printing like 50 to 100 shirts each, so that's like thousands of dollars, and it was like a L. We still have a lot of shirts left. Yeah, yeah. And so what happened was I caught after the photo shoot, I caught the error for Elyon was misspelled. So I was like, you know what? Let me double check and see if preparatory was misspelled, and it was. I googled it. It was misspelled. I was like, oh man, but. I guess behind the preparatory, we wanted to create like it said Elyon preparatory, so it was like a basketball shirt. Yeah, and like the photo shoot was dope because it was like at a court, and the basketball court was like blue, and the shirt was blue. It was like so dope. It was like in the middle of the city. You could see the backdrop of the city and everything, and just the whole thing. We were just trying to show like, okay, it's like a. Elyon is like a prep school, like a Christian school. Right? Yeah. Like, so we were trying to like tune into that culture, and it was a dope shirt. It's just we just did restock it because of that. And I was like, you know what? I was just still jaded off that, so we kind of like trashed the shirt.
So did you learn like quality control?
Yeah. So now we have a system in place where we're double checking, crossing our T's, dotting our I's after we create stuff, and making sure like this is like
more of like a process, system driven when it comes to like. Getting everything done and approved and printed.
Exactly.
Y'all go through this whole thing. And that's crazy because you never really realize these type of solutions until you make these mistakes. Like the gold is in the mistakes. Exactly. And it's crazy that people don't want to make them. They're like so scared to make a mistake. But the way that you're going to become successful is by making a busload of mistakes.
You have to.
Yeah. But I don't know if people see it, because people are emotional. And if you read like The Art of War by like Sun Tzu, it talks about how the world is like.
Tell me about that book. I still didn't read it.
Cold. It's like if you're trying to there's a lot of books. I read a lot about war and how warfare, 33 strategies of war.
I want to read more in 2021.
Yeah,
I try to read a lot this year. I fell off. I started the year off good. And, how that goes.
That's how it goes. Yeah, which is your own personal time. So as long as you have that as a goal. But in Sun Tzu, he was talking about how the world is like gray.
Yeah,
we're the ones who add all this color and emotion and feeling some type of way. So you have to, act and react in emotionless ways. And I apply that with my business all the time. When a problem happened, which 2 days ago it happened, it could have stressed me all the way out. But it's one of the things I'm like, that's just part of my business. Like mistakes will happen. And listen, what happened? One of my employees, which I'm actually going to mention in another part, but had this chemical that he wasn't really sure about within this bottle, and he sprayed the touchscreen in a car on a G-Wagon and an M5.
Wow.
And it it could cause some kind of chemical reaction.
Wow.
You're talking about thousands.
Wow.
Yeah, and it happened back to back.
Oh,
and
wow.
the guy,
Did you let him go or did
no. Even crazier, he was a temporary trying to in essence fill in for somebody who became sick last minute. So he wasn't even ready to even go out, but he's been with us before for like 2 years. He worked with us. He came back fresh, and he's like, "Hey, I want another opportunity." Someone called out. I'm like, "Okay, let me put him in his opportunity."
Yeah.
And set him up. And again, I set him up with supplies from a previous detailer. So I didn't know exactly what he had. I just went along with it. And then next, customer calls like, "Hey, I see these spots," and I call him. He's like, "No, that was there when I got there." And then I'm like, "Oh, this is what happened. This is what he said. He said it was there when he got there." Now the customer is like, there's no, he's pissed off.
Yeah.
And while he's calling me, I'm like, "Hold on real quick." Another customer says, "Hey, your guy just sprayed something." I was like, oh my God. We could have prevented it had he told the truth.
Yeah.
But it was a temporary worker with me anyway. So he's not even a permanent worker. So it's
a bad look on your business.
So many parts, and it made me understand like, don't rush. Nothing's good. And I always say that to myself, don't rush. Anytime you rush things, it never turns out good.
Okay.
Second, you have to have like a quality control with like supplies. They have to have the exact same thing every time, fresh. So there is no question about what someone may have put it somewhere else. It's just those mistakes, which is a very expensive mistake, is going to help me become a better person, a better business person, and have us become a better business for our customers. So I see what you mean by that.
Yeah, you have to get into the game.
Yeah.
Because you can't become good if you don't practice, if you don't play.
Yeah.
Right? And like you say, you can't be, it's like chasing failure. You have to fail. Because we learn a lot of our stuff from failures, from mistakes.
Yeah.
That's how we become better, to be honest with you.
But like when it comes to the purpose of what you're doing, it is to like make money, right? Like when it comes to not the purpose, but the outcome that you're looking for with Elyon. Like are you trying to make it like a worldwide, nationwide, or is it something like more like a passion project?
I mean, of course, I don't want to like go into depth like doing this. So of course, we want to make money off of it, but just the main thing is to impact culture, and by impacting culture, like I guess the benefits from it is like you're gonna receive like monetary value comes from it, right? But I don't want to look at I was successful this year because I made X amount of money. I want to say I was successful this year because we pushed the culture forward, right? Like the way people look at faith, the way people look at certain things is different now because Elyon brought new concepts. Elyon brought new things. So I think that's what I feel is successful, more so monetary value. But of course, I don't want to go into depth. I don't want to lose money going into this. So yeah.
Yeah, actually, maybe more specifically, like, are you looking to scale it?
Like bigger?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So when it comes to scaling, the key thing or the next step usually is like building a team. Have you built a team around you in any type of way, whether it be part-time or full-time, of somebody who kind of assists you in the brand work?
So I had a few people like help out, but right now don't really. I have my brother and my friend, like I said, Kufre, but they're more so like advice and stuff, and like with designs and everything. But as far as like team, as far as someone who's taking the product to the print shop, somebody who's like doing the packages, somebody who's creating content for social media, we don't really have that yet, but we're going to get that eventually. But right now, I want to become a great leader, right? So right now, my passion really is learning about leadership. I listen to like a lot of leadership podcasts, a lot of content on leadership, because I know that one day I'm going to be a leader that's employing people, right? I'm going to be a team person. I'm going to have a team, but I don't want to get there and not be prepared for it.
Yeah, so you're doing all the groundwork.
I'm doing all the groundwork now because you have to prepare for your future.
I say that all the time about preparation.
Preparation is it's very, very key.
That has a lot to do with confidence.
Exactly. So I know I'm going to get there. So now I'm doing the groundwork now because I don't want to get in that area and I'm offending people. I'm rubbing people in the wrong way.
It happens to me all the time, though.
Not communicating right. I mean, of course, yeah. But I want to be an effective leader because when you're an effective leaders know how to create culture. So when you create culture around your brand and around the team is going to want to work hard for you. They're going to go to bat for you because they love the culture that you created. But if you create a toxic culture, then it's going to be reflective in what you're selling, what you're producing. So I want to do something to where I'm creating like not toxic, a healthy environment for people to come and work and create and do these type of things. And just, so I'm trying to learn how to become an effective leader and a great leader right now.
That's a hard one. You know, like there's two different paths on that where you could prepare, and then start, or prepare, but then also do a little of the work while you're preparing, but then making those mistakes and, you know, taking L's. Because do you think there's a such thing as over preparation?
I don't think so. I don't think so. But I think people who do that are scared to they're over preparing because they're scared to get into it. Because of course you should get into something and not be like, you're never going to be prepared. Like having a kid, you could read as many books as you want and how to be a parent. You could learn all this stuff, but you're not going to know until you get into it. But when it comes to boxing, right? Shout out to Aaron Spence. He won last night.
Hey, turn up.
Dallas native. But they say that everybody has a game plan until they get knocked in the face in the ring, right?
He said that? No, Mike Tyson.
No, he didn't say that. Mike Tyson said it. But I was shouting out. I was watching the fight last night, so I wanted to give him a quick shout out. But so for me, yes, that I have a game plan, but I'm still like, you know, doing the brand, but I want to prepare myself to whatever I do scale, right? I have things in place to where I want to do already, right? So, but of course, like you learn on the go, learn on the job. Yeah,
I'm just, I feel like I do things a little bit untraditionally.
Okay.
You know, because I feel like starting, not really like, you know, when they say start even when you're not ready, I don't really believe in that. I don't believe just like I could have started this podcast with, you know, just headphones and me talking into my mic and starting it that way. But I knew I was in people's ear and I didn't want to have what I saw as a preference of low quality sound. Yeah. Right. So I was doing the research, but then buying little things here and there as I was preparing for the launch day. Yeah. You know what I mean? But some people, they prepare. 2 years later, they're like, it's still not right yet. You know, and I get it. You know, you said what?
I think 2 years is a while.
I know people who've been stressing over ideas for years. I'm talking about 10 plus years. Like I'm still trying to get it together. People who want to drop. I know a person who wants to drop a book, been sleeping on the book that's finished for about 4 years, but he's afraid to publish it.
Yeah. See, I think he's just being scary. Like, it's just anxiety, and sometimes you just gotta press send. Sometimes you gotta start and do it. Like, do it afraid.
Yeah, because you know, when you're your own worst critic, you think everyone's looking at you like how you see yourself as like a fraud, or you're not really official. And
that's why self-talk is good. That's why you need people in your corner that's like encouraging you and building you up, right? Like your circle is important. Like you need that. Yeah. Because if you have people who are down on you, people who don't see don't see value in you, is going to be reflective in how you treat yourself too. Because like I said, we already look at ourselves in a certain way. But I think you just got to get in the game. Yeah. Like get in the game.
But how do you, you know, I think it's hard for people to just know how to get in the game. So when you started, did you have a plan as far as how much you needed financially to start, or did you just kind of like just start one shirt at a time? Like what was it financially that you prepared for to start?
Well, I didn't see. I wish I would prepare for that as far as financially. I just got in the game, to be honest with you. But also, like, I've been into fashion my whole life, and I've been into my faith my whole life. So it was kind of easy to get started as far as like putting the ideas out there. And I like to think I'm a creative. Well, I am a creative person. Not thinking I am a creative person. So so creating and producing a product was simple, but the marketing behind it was something we had to learn. I'm still learning too, to be honest with you, like creating content, the way because like one word in like the caption and the way you phrase things is huge. We just redid our website. A lot of these things are huge. And I thought I was going into it like naive. I was like, okay, this is easy. Like I'm into fashion. I know dope stuff. Yeah. And all I gotta do is create a dope shirt and it's gonna sell. It's like nobody. It's way more than that. Yeah. Because people, one thing I don't really like about just the fashion industry or a lot of these things, e-commerce, but I get it. People like to buy off of the strength of influencers or celebrities. And so you can have something that's dope, but sometimes people won't buy it unless, or you can have something that's mediocre. And if a celebrity wears it or an influencer wears it, oh my God, what is that? I don't really like that, but that's another conversation.
But you don't think there's like a ground up, like a organic, this is like such a clever something, and then it goes in essence viral on its own.
And like I said, that's about the branding. That's about the marketing. That's how it's like produced and presented. So that's one thing we're working on is how do we present certain things like our new sweats, right? Those like we're selling out. They're basically about to be practically sold out, right? And we presented it in a new way.
What was a new way? What did y'all do before and what did y'all do this time?
So before we had to like we need a photo shoot. We're just like pinpointing on creating a photo shoot, creating different looks, right? But now with the sweats, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just rock the sweats because I'm usually not in the photo shoots. So like I'm gonna just rock the sweats the best way I know how because that's my gift is like putting it close together, and I'm gonna do it in a way to where I'm showing people how to wear it in normal setting. Right?
Yeah.
And by the way, if you need a model, let me know, bro.
I got you. What size you wear?
Extra large.
You have experience in modeling or? A little bit.
A little bit, bro.
I see some of your new content.
Yeah,
on
I see
Instagram.
it.
A little bit, bro.
Killing the ground.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I'm not really a model, bro. I just look nice and take pics, bro. That's all. Bro.
Yeah, you've been doing a great job.
Yeah, you have been
bro.
applying pressure, bro.
Yeah. So I wore it and took it. So I put the Red Octobers with it. So the Red October is like the hottest shoe ever.
That's a legendary shoe, bro.
I was like, I hit the lottery. Like,
Yeah,
that.
lucky.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna put this Red Octobers on, match it with the pants and the pictures, like just dope. We just focusing on the straight pants, the sweats, and the shoes. And everybody's like, oh my god, I gotta get that. I gotta get that.
But did you feel that before you put it out when you saw it?
Did I feel like
you felt like it was gonna align with your community?
Yeah, I feel like it's gonna align with my community, but I didn't expect the feedback from it, to be honest with you, because I thought the shirts are fire, but the sweats was something we didn't put a lot of time into. That's the thing that's another thing about creativity.
Yeah.
The thing that you put a lot of time into,
Bro.
oftentimes is not things that
People want to.
people want.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people are gonna like it, but the sweats, we didn't put a lot of time into it and flying off the market. Like what? Like
Man, those crazy surprises.
so much surprise. So I'm like, okay, I think the people want this, and so just it's learning on the go, and yeah.
But I think that had a lot to do with the weather, right? Like
that too.
People like I remember someone dropped I bought it actually, a hoodie in the summer, and I thought it probably would have been better for like the winter, but you could drop clothes anytime.
Yeah.
So, but I do think
it'll be summer here, but it'll be cold and like
exactly. Yeah. So I feel
else.
like there's like a cycle to things. But for your, I always look at what you have around you, your immediate circle, then outside of them, and usually it's based on the season that you experience, that they experience. So I think that with the sweats, or even a hoodie or anything like that, I would think with it being winter that
that too.
outsell.
I think that too. I think with it being winter and the way we presented it, like combination of both is like, oh my god, I need that.
How much? Oh, I don't know if you want to put the price out.
They're $65.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they cost a lot to me. I'm actually wearing a pair right now. They're real comfortable.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people. I know at certain prices we price people out but it takes a lot to create. And these are high value products. We're not trying to produce cheap stuff.
Yeah.
As far as like cheaply made, we want this article or item of clothing to be in your wardrobe for at least 3 to 5 years. We don't want this.
I had this shirt 3 years. I wear it all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
it still looks the same way you got
fit
it.
perfect.
Yeah.
And then it does cost for quality. Like Greg, when he dropped his sweater, I'm not sure if you remember.
Bro, yeah, great. It's fire.
High quality. And it costs $100. I was like, I'm paying $100 for a hoodie?
Yeah.
I was like tripping. I was like, $100 for a hoodie. I was like,
it's really an investment though, to be honest.
No, but I looked at like his personal branding, right? Like he's not gonna put anything out that's low quality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, in his pictures, in his books, in his clothing. So I knew that the price was gonna fit the quality. When I got it, it did. I was like, wow, it's something I wear all the time. And I feel like when you lead with quality, how could you lose? Exactly. Yeah.
And I get it as far as like there are certain people who want to wear it and they can't afford it. And eventually we're going to try and work on that too. But overall, we want to create like just dope quality stuff. Because like with me, whenever I buy clothes, and I know everybody's not like me, but whenever I buy clothes, I want this item to be around at least 3 years.
Classics,
I can wear, like always wear, and not just one wash. It's like done after one wash.
Yeah,
away.
Like Zara.
And it become like a gym t-shirt.
I think one of the biggest things too, when people try to sell shirts, bro, I think for me personally, like when I'm buying from like a friend, I always look at the quality of the shirt because sometimes people might put shirts on the Gildan shirt, bro, and they slack.
Oh, the Gildan?
Gildan,
Yeah.
Gildan. I'm like, oh,
I use that for my
come on, bro.
employees. Gildan.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess starting out is good to like you can use Gildan and whatnot, but
Yeah.
like, but I think it's good to like use higher quality stuff in my opinion.
Yeah.
It all depends on where you're at. Some people just want to get out like catchy stuff that doesn't require like because a lot of people don't care about like to be honest with you they don't care about the product and how much it how.
Mm-hmm. Like what went into it?
Yeah, what went into it. If it's like high quality or not, that's just saying. They don't really care about that. They just want to wear something that makes them feel good. That's about it. But I guess, like we said, like we're trying to create that culture for those people who care about those type of stuff. And so yeah.
So how do you get the word out? Like what are your methods? Is it you push it through your own personal like social media, or do you have clever ways of like getting people's attention?
So the biggest thing we've done really is pop-up shops. Mm-hmm. So we relied heavy on pop-up shops, but with COVID, like, we had to have a different approach. Mm-hmm. I have a nice following on social media, so I use social media a lot and just trying to be consistent with that. So we use social media. One thing I've learned with Clubhouse, shout out to Clubhouse. That's like my favorite.
Shout out to Clubhouse. Yeah, I love it.
Addicting.
Yeah, it's addicting. I've learned like a lot about SMS marketing and just email marketing, which we're trying to get better at. And so I'm trying to do research on a lot of that stuff because that's how you get like a lot of customers and you do a lot. So I'm still learning.
There's a lot of groups, a lot of rooms on these particular things.
Bro, like building like a fashion line is so difficult because one, you had to come up with the creative process, right? With the designs. After that, you have to come up with a theme as far as with the photo shoot. If you do a photo shoot, then you have to constantly create content on social media to where people are engaged with your social media, right? Mm-hmm. You can't always sell stuff. You have to do stuff that's adding value, like just different memes, different quotes. Bro, it's a lot.
A lot.
And when you're one person, and you have to ship off the clothes and everything, and you have to buy just the labels, buy the cards for the bro, it's a lot. And when you're one person who's doing a lot of this, it can be overwhelming. And that's one thing I'm just trying to get better with is just trying to be more consistent across the board.
So you ship everything out yourself?
I ship everything personally out myself.
You know when people do the drop shipping where they use those sites where you don't carry any inventory, you just, sell it and then they print it and they ship it out, but they take a bigger percentage. Did you ever look into that versus what y'all do now?
So if you want to control the quality, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So there, like, no knock to that, but like the quality is not as good. So if you drop shipping, the quality tends to be a little bit more fast fashion. So yeah. So
explain that what you mean by fast fashion.
Fast fashion is like something that's, like I said, not going to be around for like long. It's like just a trend. Something that's going to like be cool after like one wash, then it's like one or two washes, then it's done after that, or something that you're not going to wear next year.
You know who started fast fashion?
Fashion. No, Forever 21.
No, before them.
Who?
Zara. Ortega was the one who started it.
Zara's been around more than,
I think longer. Yeah, much longer than
Forever
H&M. Yeah, well, H&M and Forever 21. But fast fashion, look that up. Look that up. See when Zara started versus Forever 21, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
But like, as far as like the owner is like Ortega. He was once like the second richest man in the world, and his biggest creation was fast fashion.
Yeah.
He's the first person who created a factory plus a way to get things that were on the runway onto like in the stores within like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and it's never been done.
Yeah.
And until he started doing it, and then that's when there were other spinoffs of other people copying his fast fashion method, because his clothes is meant to only last 3, 4 to 5 wears, not something you have forever.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like a niche because people would just buy and not keep or not want to keep wearing the same thing. They want to have different looks.
And I get it because a lot of us, like with me, I get tired of wearing the same thing after 3 to 5 times.
Yeah.
That's why I buy a lot of clothes at once so I can like switch it out.
That's smart.
Even with people like me, people say you never wear your brand, and I understand why they say that, but I get tired of wearing my brand to be honest with you, because like I'm into fashion first, so I like to wear new, different stuff. It's like I don't want to wear the same thing over and over again. It's like kind of like it's like eating the same thing every day.
How many random people just come up to you and say you never wear your brand or you don't wear your brand?
My friends, they say like you don't wear your brand enough. Like you should be wearing it everywhere you go and stuff.
Do you think it's a problem?
With me not wearing
No.
brand?
Do you think they're highlighting a problem?
Yeah, they're highlighting a problem, which like I like people giving me feedback. and I take what I want out of it. It's like, okay, I understand what you're saying. I do need to wear my brand a lot more, but I'm still gonna wear rock like dope stuff too.
Yeah.
Because I look at it as like, okay, I don't want to be known as like, oh, here, like, I don't know. I be in my own head. I want people to see my style too.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, this boy's fresh as like whatever, and know about me first, and know about my brand as soon as they get to know me. As far as like, okay, you have your own brand too. That's dope. Like, dang, you have this. So I guess it's a mixture of both, and like just trying to do both as far as like wear your brand too, but wear dope stuff too.
Is there a difference?
Well, it is dope, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Is there a did you find it out?
Yeah, I found it out. So Zara was started on May 24th, 1974 in Spain.
Wait, May what?
1974.
1970. Oh wow.
Yeah, and Forever 21 started April 21st, 1984 in Highland Park, Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, Zara started that whole fast fashion. And they've been around for a while.
I didn't know that.
Even when you look at other stuff, people don't
I think H&M started October 4th, 1947 in Sweden.
1947? Yeah. Oh.
Did they change their name, I guess? Or I wonder if these brands started in a different way than they pivoted, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe they've been around, but we didn't know about them because they weren't big, right? I guess.
Well, it's kind of like who's the Top Man? They did it wrong. You know, they try to come out like an H&M and try to battle them out, but they did kind of like boutiques and like Nordstrom and maybe a store here and there.
Well, it's Top Shop though. You know,
Top Shop, yeah.
Well, because the Top Shop is just for women only. Then they created a Top Man for that.
Yeah, but it didn't. I feel like it was a failure to me.
Yeah.
You know,
they had a lot of dope stuff though.
They did. It was kind of pricey. I get it.
I used to go there. I was like, I want to go there because they were like a mixture of like dope stuff, but trendy.
Yeah. And you know, I like stuff like that. Like I personally like Zara more because they have edgier clothes. But I hate now that I understand this is about quality. They're leather. Anything that has leather on it, trash. After 2-3 wears, it's trash. Or like skinny jeans. You get skinny jeans from there, they're ripping like after 3 wears. I feel like they're not really concerned with quality and more concerned with the look.
I don't shop at Zara anymore. Only reason why, because especially like buying shirts from there, because I remember this last time I got a shirt and I saw at least like 10 people with the same shirt, and that's like a pet peeve of mine. Like,
Yeah.
I do not, because I like my style being my own self, and I don't like seeing a lot of people wearing the same thing as I am, because I don't want to blend in with other people. And not to sound like an elitist or anything, but I want to be able to like
express your style personally, like to yourself. So do you feel like there's not Instagram, a social media version of you and like the real version of you, like how people see you versus like how you see yourself? Is there a difference there, or you feel like you're pretty consistent all the way through?
I feel like for me, I feel like I'm consistent pretty way through, but I feel like there's a different level with me in person, because I'm not going to show who I am fully on social media, because not everybody has that the privilege to get to know me personally, right?
Why you say it like that? Why you say like the privilege?
I feel like everybody should have a privilege. Like, you should like guard yourself. You should, in my opinion, right?
Okay.
I feel like I put certain things out there for people to know, but you're not going to know a lot about me because that's for just my friends. I want people to come up to me or to like feel like they know me just because of my social media. Like, nah,
true.
You see things I tweet, you see things on social media, but there's a lot more about me that meets the eye, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that
boys like to keep a little mystery. I feel that.
Yeah, you got to keep a little
like
mystery about yourself, and so it should people. That's just my opinion.
So is that better for like your mental health? You think? Because some people go on and try to be something for social media and then get burnt out and need to take their breaks. Is that something you ever have to go through?
Not because of my content. I get burnt out from seeing other people's like content from other people, and but not from me personally. I like to be myself, as far as like I like to be positive, so I like to make people think about themselves in a new light, right? If they didn't think they had worth, I want them to know that they're worthy of a lot, right? Like, you're a high value person, because God created you. God has infinite value placed on you, right? You're a human being. Christ died for you. So I want people to know that, like, you're dope. Like, there's so much more that you can be doing. You have so much inside of you. You just haven't tapped into it yet, right? A lot of people, like I said, they don't know that. So much people, and it sucks because they don't know, and because people didn't tell them. A lot of people, they grew up in families that were toxic, that people were just always just saying negative things about you. You're never going to amount to nothing. You're this, you're that. So I want people to look at themselves in a positive light and encourage them.
So you're, again, intentional about what you put out.
Yeah.
And before you said, like,
I do troll a little bit too, but
yeah, I was gonna say that when you're early on, because everyone early on Twitter and all that, like, had like a different type of. There's a different you back then.
Yeah.
And do you erase what, like for example, like old pictures of you on IG? Because you go to a young lady's like profile, and the most recent picture is like 2018 January. You're like,
yeah,
like. And that usually indicates something. They're trying to start fresh or do all that.
Yeah.
Do you leave everything, or do you kind of clean up as you go?
I leave certain stuff. I do clean up, but you can still see stuff from my Twitter from like 2009. You can see stuff from my Instagram from when I first got on there. But like, there's some stuff I do clean up.
You feel like this is off subject. You remember Kevin Hart, the whole situation? All right. What are your thoughts on him keeping that tweet up? For people to kind of, do you feel like that's something he should have known to like take away, or is it something that you feel like he should have doubled down when it came to the whole Oscar situation?
I think he should have just came out and apologized and acknowledged where he was wrong, even though he said he apologized again. I think, you can never, not everybody knows when you apologize, right? Yeah. I think when you come from a place of pride, you're never going to win. It's always going to end up bad, like anytime.
Do you feel like that's the issue with him?
I feel like that's what the issue with him, when he just feels he's a little bit I love Kevin Hart, and I want to say I'm never going to cancel him, but I'm not going to cancel him. But he does respond in a prideful, arrogant way. People don't like that. It rubs people the wrong way. The same thing with the whole True Kitchen thing, prideful, arrogant. You have, like, when you're dealing with people as a leader, you're held to a higher standard. You have to always respond in grace. Always. Like, in my opinion. Man,
that's a super duper bar, bro.
You have to.
That's true. That's super true. And I felt that, you articulated better when it came to, you're talking about Kevin Kelly, the owner of True Kitchen, and how he responded to those young ladies who were tricking on his furniture. And I actually had a personal issue with how aggressive he was.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, there's nobody other than you at the top. So if you risk yourself, imagine if he, let's say, for any reason, got shot.
Yeah.
Or something crazy happened where someone threw a chair or whatever. You're literally, the buck stops with you.
Yeah.
If you put yourself in a position or a risky position like that, when you don't have people that you should have in the middle of that, I feel like that was part of the failure. And I told you like how like I felt like they both should apologize, because if they didn't see where they both had wrong in that situation, but I do feel like you should, if you're at a leadership position, respond to things like with grace. Yeah.
I think people don't like the conversations where both parties are coming with grace. We all want to say, no, you're wrong. You're wrong because of this. But it's like, how about we just come to the table and say, hey, we both were messed up. What can I get better at? What can I learn from? Right. I think with him, he was right and wrong at the same time. He had every right to be upset that they were dancing and twerking on his furniture, right? Because he didn't create that environment. He felt like he didn't create that type of environment. But he didn't have a right to devalue, to talk down to adults, right? And with me, you always have to lead with grace. I hold you to a higher standard, because you, as a business owner in that community, you're a powerful person. So it cuts deeper than a regular person. So yes, and it's funny, because I never seen this issue I haven't seen an issue like this in a while that has split the black community, because anyone you ask, it's 50-50 on who feels like the twerkers were wrong, and who the owners were, if their owners were wrong, owner was wrong.
Is that like a conservative versus liberal type thinking? Like, you know what I mean? When it comes to, if you look at the owner as right, you're maybe more conservative, and you look at the girl as right or more right, then you look at maybe it's more liberal or something like that.
That's a great question, but I think a lot of the people were also liberals who feel like the owner was right. So I think it's more.
What do you feel? What do you think?
I feel like the owner was wrong in what he said to them. Okay. He had, like I said, he had every right to be upset. But just because you have a right to be upset doesn't mean you have to responding that way. And he has every right to respond that way, because I'm not going to, trying to police anybody's like language or anything.
Mm-hmm. I do sometimes.
Yeah,
I have that.
yeah. But I am going to hold you accountable, I should say, right? And I am going to help hold you to a higher standard, because you're a man of leadership. You're a man speaking to a woman, right? So I hold you to a higher standard every single time. We have to like hold people to a high standard without like
demeaning them,
right? Not doing all that, but hold them to a high standard. Let them know check them. Let them know where they went wrong. Let them know where they can be better at. But he went on to apologize. And
oh, he did?
Yeah, he apologized with using the words that he used. But the ironic thing about it shows you the world we live in, because I thought he was going to get canceled, right? I didn't want him to get canceled, but I thought that was going to happen because like the response. But I saw the next day, I saw a lot of people on his side. I'm like, wait, what? So like I said, it was 50-50, but.
Because the narrative, you don't think it was 50-50 because the narrative was, it's really the right to twerk, at a restaurant. And that just sounds like stupid. You know what I mean? To say, oh, should I be able to, twerk on a table in a restaurant? Well, and it just kind of made it sound dumb.
I think a lot of people looked at it as like, if you come in my house, you're damaging my property, then that's wrong. Or they looked at it like, that's not an appropriate setting to do it in. So a lot of people looked at it that way. But what I was going to say was, something that was supposed to destroy him actually like gave him free promotion. Like he got free promotion for TMZ, Shade Room, New York Post. Like what? Like, how do you get all this free promotion out of something that was supposed to be negative? Which like, kudos to, well, I wouldn't say kudos, but like hopefully he learns from the situation. He in the future,
I'm not sure if he will, because he doubled down.
Yeah, he's very cocky. Like I said, I don't like people who are very like double down when they're wrong. In my opinion, it just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, it's very Trumpian. It's kind of like Trump does it, and that method works. But it's not, to me, it's not the right thing. I feel like because it works, people think it's the right thing. Yeah. But when like Trump, when he does admit fault and he triples down or doubles down, that is a method to get people to be on your side, because you're like, see, he's true to his word. He's true to how he feels. He's, like he's standing for something. Yeah. And that's kind of how it was for him. He's saying, well, I don't mind anybody twerking, but I just, standing up on the furniture and this and that. You could go to this club or that club,
I think it's a dangerous like narrative to say, in order for you to stand up for something, you had to bash a lot of people or hurt a lot of people, right? Or offend everybody. It's like, no, you can stand for something, stand for what you believe in without offending everybody else. Like, I think that narrative.
Man, this is crazy that you're saying that people, okay, we talk about Clubhouse, which I have a follow-up question to this one, is that I feel like Clubhouse is teaching people how to talk. Really actually talk and listen and respond and do it in an orderly, like now we're starting to see it happen in real time. Yeah. But there is a difference between people feeling like, do I give it to you raw, uncut, straight, or do I give it to you in a way that you could digest and understand? And I'm always with the latter, where I feel like your delivery and your communication, those go hand in hand. So if you say something like super offensive to somebody, in order for them to get the message, they're not going to get the message because they're offended. Yeah. So you just wasted time with someone's like emotional block, and then they come into it and say, well, you need to leave your feelings at the door. Yeah. But that's not possible. Yeah. We're literally made of these things. Exactly. So when you take that out and say, I'm gonna give it to you exactly the way I think you should have it, I feel like that is not very empowering. I feel like that is almost an abuse of power in some cases.
With me, I think that sometimes uncomfortable conversations do need to happen, because we learn a lot from those conversations, right? And we learn a lot from offending people, but I don't think it should be done intentionally. I do think we should watch what we say to certain people. And I feel like when you go to these conversations, you should be talking to them like they're your family members. Well, never mind, because a lot of people talk to their family members crazy. Yeah. You should go to it with respect for the other person. Yeah. And like right now, there's like a lot of diaspora wars, which I hate. And people are coming because there's hurt on both sides. And people are talking about the hurt on both sides, which I get. And
can you explain that real quick so people understand what you mean by the hurt on both sides on the diaspora war?
Diaspora war is where a lot of Black Americans have been hurt by foreign people, right? Because when I mean foreign people, I mean like Black people, like African and Caribbean people who come to America. They benefit off of the sacrifice of Black Americans and because like we're indebted to Black Americans, right? Because they built this country, they've done a lot of things. We wouldn't be able to achieve greatness in this country without them, right? And a lot of people, a lot of Africans, a lot of Caribbeans come here with pride and say, I was able to do this. How come you can't do this? Or they talk down on Black Americans, the same Black Americans that gave them the ability to have the type of life they're living, right? But also on the other side, a lot of Black Americans, or not a lot, there's been, well, let me be real. A lot of Black Americans in the past did make fun of a lot of the Caribbeans, Africans, of the culture or the accents, African booty stretchers, and a lot of misunderstanding on both sides, right? And we can't get past that hurt, and we keep on talking about it. It's like a revolving door, which I understand, but there has to be a time to where we talk about solutions. How do we have a conversation that's positive? That, of course, there's going to be uncomfortable conversations, but it has to be. You can have, in my opinion, you can have an uncomfortable conversation, but in a positive way. Like me and Simeon, we had just had an uncomfortable conversation situation, but he knew I was coming at him with love, right? I think the conversation would be like, okay, I want to learn more about your culture, what you're going through, what your experience. Let me know. I want to hear. I want to listen, and it should be in return. Then after that, it should be, how can we build on top of this? How can we come together and create solutions? Because I feel like I get it. We're always talking about the problems, like where we got hurt, which I get, but these happen all the time, and we're always arguing back and forth, and we're always like, oh, I don't mess with these people because of this, and it's divisive in my opinion. But
so do you feel like Clubhouse makes it better or worse when it comes to having these conversations?
I think, man, to be honest with you, I'm not sure. I think it's the way you look at it. I think a lot of people say it's worse because we're talking about it more and we're becoming more divisive. But I do know a lot of people hear the other side and they hear other people's perspectives and they leave.
So both are happening at the same time.
Both are happening at the same time. Eventually, if you stay and eventually have these conversations for a while and y'all hear each other out and you had good moderators, then eventually people come to like, okay, I see your side, see your side, because man, I don't want to get sidetracked because there's a lot of stuff I want to say as far as like the ADOS and everything, but just to keep on topic or whatnot, I think eventually people see each other's sides eventually, if there's good moderators, if there's mature people on both sides, but that has to be put in place to where, but it could be seen as divisive because you go in the hallway, you see all these divisive titles and stuff. Yeah. There's gender wars on there too. There's everything. But
yeah. Because I feel like it's going to get us to a place where we actually could I already see it happening. And I noticed it, like I told other people, that when I started doing stand-up, my speaking abilities got better. Yeah. But then when I started doing a podcast, it was even faster. I was like, wow, this is much better as far as like making me a better speaker.
It's practice.
Yeah. And then Clubhouse just broke the ceiling through. Like I now could listen. I listen a lot better now. Yeah. And I jump in whenever I need to.
That's all good.
Yeah. But I feel like it is everything's a tool. So however you use it. Exactly. Some people go in there and they're in there for the ratchet. They're in there for the fun. Yeah. And me, I look at it more for the education. Yeah. Same. And yeah, so when someone's like, being addicted, I'm like, that's like being addicted to school. You know what I mean? Like if you're like, oh man, like you're always going to school, you keep reading these books. It's like, well, I'm learning and there's no other like format for me to learn this in this way. So I become that,
I want to say like, when I first got on, because I remember I was like, bro, you got to get on this app.
Yeah, yeah, you're the one who put me onto it, yeah.
Like telling like everybody, because I was like, you're perfect for this. High value, so much learning. And like with me, if I see a whole bunch of food somewhere, if I see a whole bunch of money over there, I'm trying to bring all my people, hey, they're eating over here, bro. Come get you a plate. So I was like, you got to get on it. So I noticed a shift though from like a month ago when I first got on to now. And at risk as sounding elitist, I feel like Clubhouse is like that one private party where that's like dope. Like, and after a while, people start texting their friends, "Hey, come on, right?" Then eventually, the wrong people start coming to the party. Yeah, yeah. And now the party's ruined, and because right now I feel like there's like a lot of just BS on the app.
There's more BS than there is. BS,
yeah. And a lot of people don't know the great things that are happening on there as far as like a lot of people are learning, a lot of people are networking because you see the BS and a lot of people are very toxic. We like to create just these stupid conversations and nothing that's really going to push the culture forward, nothing that's really going to impact our day-to-day
People
lives.
just bored and you just want to be
Yeah.
entertained with some like crazy nonsense. I remember there's this room where Tiffany Haddish was like the Trojan horse.
Yeah.
To go into like this is room where they had hundreds of people listening to 15 people attempt to troll another room where they're talking about productivity in the industry and all this. And they're going to have Tiffany Haddish come in, become a moderator, and then, you know, kick everyone off stage, and then her bring on her people, and they do all these weird noises and just disrupt the entire thing. And when the main person found out, he came to that group and then he says, hey, y'all can't be doing this. Like, y'all are getting canceled. Y'all are canceling yourselves before you even have an opportunity because y'all just want to have a little fun. But we actually over here like producing. We're actually over here building, and y'all want to disrupt it because you're bored. You know what I mean?
And also, I don't want to sound like that uncle that's like trying to ruin the party when I, because I do believe there is a space, because like there are a lot of young people in the app, and if I was their age, I'd probably be doing a lot of the ratchet stuff too, right? But I just think it's good to have a good balance.
I feel like it's whatever you find. If you don't see anything worth your time, go to something else.
Yeah.
You know, but if you do see something, you know, turn up.
I like the ratchet stuff. I like that stuff, but my purpose on being like in Clubhouse is not for that.
Yeah.
Like I can,
But sometimes you can't resist.
Sometimes, you know, I can, but sometimes I get in there, I'm like, bro, what am I doing? Like, I gotta like, because as people ping me into it, like this one time, one of my friends pinged me into one of his rooms. I was like, bro, don't ever ping me to his type of room again. I ain't trying to like be on there and listen to that. Because I can stay on Instagram, I can stay on Facebook and Twitter for that.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But I feel like, do you feel like Clubhouse is the best app so far versus all social media? Or are you now starting to change your opinion?
I want to say it's the best. I'll say it's my favorite currently, because I feel like it's, so I ain't gonna lie. At first, I was a little bit intimidated by Clubhouse because so many smart people. So many
It's
smart
a lot.
people.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And you can, if you feel like you don't have nothing to bring to the conversation, you could probably feel like a way, right? And with Twitter and Instagram, I can compete. Well, I look at things as competition, but that's a bad word. I can add value, I should say, to to Instagram and Twitter, because I know how to do that, right? But on Clubhouse, in my opinion, I'm not a great speaker, so I'm very like self-conscious about that. And sometimes I feel like I don't have a lot of like wise, smart things to say, like on the rip. I can't really say, but if I like
think through it,
I can do it, right? Or if it's something I'm passionate about, I can talk about it. But yeah,
that's a skill, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like when I get on certain stages, some people ask like, how do you jump in and how you do this? And really it's about like speaking. Like when you just stop talking, I know when to jump in.
Yeah.
But some people don't have that understanding.
I'm learning.
Yeah, and you have to learn it, but you have to do it to learn it. Like I told you, it's like I feel like there is a such thing as over preparation, because you could listen to all these little rooms and be like, okay, this is good, this is good. Yeah. But if you're not literally almost immediately applying,
get in the game.
Yeah, because you're gonna end up forgetting, or it's gonna end up being another thing you add to the list of things you need to do. So you got to do it ASAP. You know what I mean? So I go in there and I listen, and then when I find something, I DM or I move forward with it. Kevin is like my little brother. You know, he's changed his business already just off that. He always pings me like certain rooms, and he's like, hey, look, the amount of gems, I've been doing this wrong. I have another friend who does a podcast, and he, you know, goes to like a podcast room, and he realized like, wow, like I'm nowhere close to where I thought I was.
What I love about it is the free game that's on there.
Oh my God.
Because now we can definitely ask questions in real time, right? Before there's a lot of BS, a lot of hoops you have to go through. Like a lot of people are not going to respond to their DMs for a random person. Now Clubhouse has created an atmosphere, that culture, to where you can ask these people. They want you to ask questions, right? And man, my brother like is killing it too on there. Like he has this one 8 focus group on it, killing. Because I saw him too. I was like, bro, you gotta get on this app, bro. Like, you gotta take off. And I love it. Kevin's doing, bro. You're killing it too. Like,
but I gotta actually get into the rooms because it takes a lot of time. And I gotta, you know, I'm actually hiring an executive assistant and someone a recruiter to like hire people, so I can actually have better time. Yeah. Because I realize, which I'm not trying to cut off your story, is that just because I can do something doesn't mean I should.
True.
And I could do a lot of things when it comes to like graphic design and editing and all that, but then I'm like, am I gonna continue trying to do all this with my time versus, in essence, how I see it, add value to.
Real quick, shout out to Bly. Like, she gives you like leeway to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you do a lot.
Yeah.
There's sometimes I call you and I feel bad because like I just took up 3 hours of his time. And I know his wife is probably like pissed off right now because you probably need to work with the kids.
No. Even,
she cool?
Yeah. Okay. See, the thing about it That's why I say when you find the right one,
Yeah.
they want you to be who you could like everything. I understand there's limits, you know, like there's times where if I'm on the phone or I'm on Clubhouse, like 2, 3, 4 in the morning, that's too much to me because A, I'm gonna need rest, and I'm a pacer when I walk and talk, so I'm moving throughout the house. But as far as like any idea, any thought, she'll give me her real deal. Hey, kind of sounds like a dud, you know what I mean? Or if she, sees like, oh, I see something in that, and she pushes, and then now I'm pushing her with her business, with the events and things that she puts on outside of her, her job. So I feel like we're the perfect yin and yang, and we're yoked in that way. But see, I'm not saying it took a long time to get there. I'm saying that you can't find someone to make history. You know what I mean? It takes time for you to see if someone is truly who they are, and she's always been completely authentic to who she was. And that's, I don't want to, get too, to gloat on her too much, let's do it. But I look at like when she talks, she said sometimes she always gets worried because she always feels like, women might try to infiltrate on what we have. Right. And I let her know that everyone I've ever dated, like all of them combined, don't even amount to her, not even close. And then she's like when she tries to understand, it's like, when you found someone who's that different, they become in their own league. That's when you understand. Like I understood when I saw her what beauty was. Wow. You know what I mean? Like before I knew what a pretty girl was, what a girl who's fine, but beauty I understood was like throughout, you know what I mean? Not something that's surface. And I saw it immediately. Wow. So from that's where I started building on that. And then, again, I pursued her because I really wanted her, and she was a super challenge. Yeah. Given what type of person she's not impressed by nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? She ain't trying to pressure you to do nothing. You know what I mean? Like some girls, we were talking about this morning. Some women are like, I'm not high maintenance. I don't ask for nothing. But then I'm like, but listen to what you complain about. You know what I mean? Like when you're driving, like, oh, I wish we had a G-Wagon. I wish we had a Bentley. We just have a regular old, Camry. You know what I mean? It's like, if you complain to that with a man, they're going to look at it like, I need to do better. I need to do this. And then they'll go back door and say, I never told you to. But there's other ways of, confusing the whole thing. Yeah. So I feel with Blythe, she makes it really clear, like if she's not for something, and when she is for it,
she's gonna check that.
Yeah, she will. And
I like that she allows you to be you.
Yeah, she allows me 100%, and she's empathetic, but then also women need time. So
exactly. She definitely. And in order to be who you fully are or going to be, like she's perfect for that because she allows you to be who you are. Yeah, and because you have a lot, you do a lot just like me.
Yeah, I do a lot.
And it's hard for people to be okay with that. Right? Well, I've come across that where it's been hard, but
I've lost friends over this, over doing too much, just like, I remember when I first started the podcast with my homegirls, she was like, why don't you leave something for like the rest of us, Michael? I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, you already do so much and you already you're good. Like, why you keep adding stuff? Like leave some, this is her specific word. Why don't you leave something for like the poor people? What? Yeah, but I think she was being facetious, but
I think people like that just they have an insecurity because when I see people do a lot of dope stuff, it inspires me. I'm like, I need to start doing dope stuff. Like I have this one friend, she's a nurse, right? Not only is she a nurse, she's has a clothing line, right? And she's so dope. Her stuff that she does, so creative. She does the designs straight on Photoshop, everything, right? And she raps. Her raps are fire. Yeah, she just moved to L.A. Her name is Six. I'm not sure if we just plug her real quick.
I'm about to say plug her.
Bro, she has this one song called Spicy, and she's just so dope. As far as I talked to her yesterday. I'm like, how are you good at everything? What?
Isn't that crazy? Look, one guy got into a room and talked about he's jealous of people who could do multiple things. Yeah, he says he's really good at doing music and producing, but he can't do other things, and he actually doesn't like that about himself. Wow. Yeah, and that's the first time I've heard that. He says, I'm really good at one thing, but when I see other people doing other things and they're actually pretty good at it, I get jealous of them.
That's weird to me. But I'm like, for you to be a nurse, not only a nurse, creative in 2 different lanes, and you're doing it at a high level, it's great taste. I've learned from her as far as creativity, as far as my brand. I've literally hit her up because she dropped some hats that are fire, trucker hats, and the way she presented it, I was like, I'm stealing all that. Like, thank you, because I'm gonna take that.
She
approach.
sees things differently,
bro. So freaking dope. Yeah. But,
so tell me, like, what's next for you? Like, whether it be for the brands that you currently manage, or is it for like new brands that you're looking to like start, like, or launch? Like, what's next for you?
So I have something else I'm working on, which is like crazy, because I do feel like I'm doing too much now.
Hey, I love it.
So, but I just need. I think the thing that helps me out is a lot of these other things, like Wave on Q. I'm doing it with my friends. Shout out to Paulina, Naika, Crystal. I do it with them, and so it's easy. 2 or more I do with my friend Tyrell. Shout out to Tyrell. So I have help, but Elyon is more so me, but I do have help.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm able to do it, because I do have help. If it's just solely me doing all these things, there's no way.
Impossible. Yeah.
I don't watch TV anymore because of that, which is that's my TV, is my brands, my creativity, right? Because you had to cut things out, which I should have said it earlier, but I'm saying now. So, in order for you to do certain things, you had to give things up, right? Right now, I'm not watching football, right? Because we're creating stuff, right?
Yeah,
I haven't been watching a lot of football this year. I haven't been watching sports as much as I used to. I used to always be in it. I used to play fantasy football. I'm not doing that anymore, right? Because I'm trying to follow my dreams. I'm trying to do things that because I came to a point where I was sick and tired of watching everybody else follow their dreams and live their dreams, as far as athletes, rappers, while I'm just not doing my dreams and living out my dreams.
Wow.
Because at times we could be consumers, but sometimes you got to put things out in the world, right?
Yeah.
Because I feel like we're all creative. We all have gifts and abilities that we're not tapping into, and we got to tap into it because we're more human that way, right? It's part of the human expression. It's part of being human, is expressing yourself, right? And if you're not expressing yourself in certain things, then it's like you're kind of dead. In me, you're kind of dead inside.
Yeah.
And expressing yourself can be like done. It doesn't have to be a brand. It could be a hobby. Like your expression could be like going to the gun range and expressing yourself through guns. Your expression could be you just love coffee and you want to create like a coffee blog or a food blog, right? Or you're in photography, just expressing yourself in some way.
Pause it real quick, because when you mentioned guns, like my boy Collins, which I introduced you
Shout out
to,
to Colin.
like he went out to the shooting range as a hobby.
Yeah.
And it took over. He said the moment he did it. See, some people don't try new things and not understanding that could change your life. And he had no clue that was going to change his life forever. Just one shot with a gun literally changed everything. So I concur with what you're saying.
The thing about that too, a lot of people don't understand when you're scared to step out and try new things, you're robbing yourself. Because now that he tried those new things and he created a brand, imagine all the crazy and dope people he met along the way. Imagine if you do your car wash. There's a lot of people you met because of that. I started Elyon. There's a lot of close friends, a lot of dope, high value people who are in part of my life because of that.
That you didn't see coming.
You're robbing yourself the opportunity to meet these people because you're not stepping into your purpose.
Man.
You're not stepping into what you're calling to doing. And a lot of times we don't see that. Yeah.
Wow. So real quick, so you can't answer. What do you have next? You said you're about to.
Oh yeah, my bad. So, so you know me, we have like a lot of deep conversations.
Yeah.
And 2012, there's like a lot of talks around racism and around socialism and capitalism, and I've always looked at capitalism from a positive way, in my opinion. And I've seen the destruction of it, right? And there's just a fight between us as black people, like. They're saying, like, a lot of people, capitalism started with slavery, right? Point blank.
Yeah.
In this country. So a lot of us want to get rid. So I was like, how can I be a part of this conversation, or how can I bring solutions, right, that aren't dealing with these systems, right? And something we all can agree on.
Yeah, yeah.
And we all can agree on that our community, black community, is underserved, right? Underserved as far as like food deserts. There's not a lot of places where you can get fresh fruit. There's not a lot of places where you can get healthy food, right? And if it is there, it's not affordable. So you have the issue where you don't have access, you don't have the resources in order to pay for it. Also times education, a lot of people don't know what's healthy and what's not, right? So I created a team with my homegirl, Itoro, and Kathleen, and we're trying to do something where we're creating meals for underserved communities, but we're not just creating meals, we're creating cuisines that are foods that we'll eat.
Cuisine.
Yeah, like
that cuisine.
we're trying to create cuisines that are from the Black culture, from the Black experience, right?
Yeah.
That we're gonna like, but we're creating it in a healthy way, and we're trying to build it to where we have funding grants, right? We have grants to where it's being paid for grants where we can feed people who are in these underserved communities, right? And we're delivering these meals to them because we want people to eat one healthy meal a day.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because we can't expect people to change overnight. But if we can introduce one healthy meal a day, they're going to have less issues as far as like health issues, I feel like.
Man, bro. Shout out to that. That simplifies it so easy.
We all can agree on that.
Yeah.
There's nobody in the Black community who's going to say, I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
Because we all agree that we have food deserts. We all agree that we don't have access. This is going to change people because COVID, it showed that we're dying most for COVID because we have underlying health issues. So how do we attack these issues? By making these foods available for people in these underserved communities so we can make better healthy choices, be a little bit more educated. The left and the right, I'm going to agree with this, right? So I wanted to create a solution to the problems that we're facing within our communities. The solutions for the problems with economic wealth, we're not all going to agree with that. But when it comes to living a healthy lifestyle, there's a point we all can agree on. So I came with my team. We're trying to create that right now. So that's the
the name yet, or is it
no name?
Oh, okay, cool.
I mean, somebody might go off and steal it. I don't care, but.
No, this is. But yeah. I think you're in concept mode, so look forward to it. I don't think anybody can really do it the way you do it. So,
but if they did, if it's serving the community, go ahead. Like by all means, do it. But, So, because at times I am scared to put that out there, because like hopefully nobody else takes it and gets credit for it. And whatnot. But if it betters the Black community, then if anybody's out there who wants to help out, it has like experience in like getting grants and everything, just hit me up and
Yeah. So how can people get at you, like follow you and all that?
So my Twitter name, my Instagram name is Triple Entendre. So triple, then ENTENDRE, and on all platforms.
Okay. Yeah. Anything you want to share before we finish up?
My email. Yeah. Email me because not everybody has social media. They can email me at jiegbele@gmail.com.
Say JIEBLE.
So JIEGBELE at yahoo.com.
Yahoo.com.
Or Gmail.
Cool. Well, do you want any parting messages for the listeners and the watchers out there?
Man, we just dropped our new collection, You Can't Love God and Ignore the Earth. It's talking about just taking care of the environment because God created the earth and God put us in place in the earth. He put us in charge of the earth, so we got to steward what He created. And it's a divisive issue that we wanted to attack. And
cool, bro. Well, thank you so much. Hey, it's such a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. And we're gonna holler at y'all. And love you. Peace out.
Merry Christmas.
And make sure that you enjoy your Christmas and have a Feliz Navidad.